What's going on, you guys? Pardon the interruption, but of course the internet crashed right when I started. I mean, that was perfect timing. So it's reloading right now. Give me a minute. And I'm back. What's up? Good. What's happening? What's not stopping? How you guys doing? God damn it. There goes again. I don't know why the signal is so bad today. Oh, that might be why. Still connected. I see you in here. If it's keeping up, it's not keeping up. So, felt like I wanted to talk at least, but it should work out fine by tomorrow. And from 6 to 3, huh? One of the fuck. Oh, God. I don't know what the hell is going on with this shit. It just keeps going in and out right now. And it's really frustrating because it says it has a strong signal and then it just keeps dropping, coming back and dropping and coming back. Dumb technology. So, I figured since I'm feeling kind of chatty, I go ahead and start streaming for you guys, talk to you, see what's on your minds. If you're wondering what FFA is free for all. So basically, if you want to come up and we can shoot the shit, have a little Geek Speak with geeks, you're more than welcome to come up. And we'll let the conversation go where it goes. So you can jump in the stream and swim with me. But I will say this. All this kerfluffle about Wakanda Forever, I am really having a hard time doing a review for this movie. I kind of want the review that I did with Dr. Tia-san to stand, and the reaction that I did to stand, because it's really a tough road to have to go back over all of that stuff again and tell you guys about it. Because to be honest with you, I recorded just an audio review yesterday because I didn't think the show deserved another visual bells and whistles review, because I knew it was going to be long. And what I recorded was 83 minutes worth of a review. I went through the whole movie, broke it down piece by piece, and now I either have to put it up with no flourishes so you guys can see it, or basically put it up with no flourishes so you guys can hear it. You won't see anything, you'll only hear it, or put it up with bells and whistles and pictures and shit like that so you guys can see and hear what I'm talking about, which means I would have to record it over again and do it, and I hate doing that shit. That's why you haven't seen my Sandman review outside of the silent one that I did. But I did a whole review for Sandman, and something was messed up on the StreamYard's end, so it didn't record my voice the whole time. So I have a whole review that's silent. It's just silent, and I was so pissed off I didn't feel like doing this shit again. I really didn't. I am, like I've told you guys many a times, this is jazz. It will never be the same as it was the first time it was said. And I don't like to go back and seem like I'm regurgitating my own jokes. No, that's not good for me. It doesn't feel natural to me. It feels really put upon and staged, and not me just talking with you guys and having a conversation. It makes it seem like it's theater, and it's not. So I don't want to do that. It seems like the signal is pretty steady now. If you guys can hear me, give a 1. I see some heads in here, but I don't see anybody saying anything. And crowd engagement is important on YouTube. You can sit on the cloud, but you should at least say hello to the host when you come in. So some of this I was thinking about with Malika. Techie's there. Malika's there. Okay. I see 2 of y'all, so at least I know 3 of y'all, 50% of you guys actually can hear me. What up, D Remedy? Local pop talks. Love the Sandman. Yeah, Sandman was good. Sandman was good. If you've never read the comic for the Sandman, you could watch the Sandman Netflix show and get into it, and that will get you into reading the comic. If you want to get the audiobook and listen to it, it's very good as well. I bought the audiobook too because, look, I never read Sandman. It was one of those things that my friends were reading, but I wasn't reading at the time. But I know it plays really good with women and chicks in the goth and all kind of stuff, that they really dig that shit. And I know Neil Gaiman is a hell of a writer, comic book or otherwise. I mean, you look at his work, Sandman is just one of them. You know about American Gods. You know about some of the other stuff that he's written, Stardust and stuff the dude can write. So unlike some of these people nowadays that we end up dealing with. What up, Malika? What's good with you? Oh, he's muted up. Malika,
sorry about that, brother. How you doing?
No worry. At least you muted because you had it off. What's up, Surgical Damage? What's good with you?
Not much, man. Chilling on my day off, man, and just kicking back, being cool. You know, doing the usual thing.
Cool. That's good. A day off is good.
You know, tomorrow back at the.
What's that?
I said, but you know, got to go back to the salt mines tomorrow.
Yeah, we all got to go back somewhere tomorrow. The salt mines, the rock quarry, the fucking the jizz lounge where you mop it up, like whatever you do and get a living, you're gonna do it tomorrow. Even YouTubers, they gonna pop their camera on and get back in front of this motherfucker. So it is what it is. I don't begrudge anybody. Did you get? Oh, you said you wasn't gonna see Wakanda Forever until next week, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna see it till next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait till the hype dies down because I'm off on Monday and Tuesdays.
Yeah, ain't no hype. The only hype they got is trying to hype that shit up to make people go see it.
And basically, like how you said before, and I had to really think about it. I said, what's going on here? Like on Sunday when you talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was funny. On Monday, my best friend called, and my aunt had came over, and she seen it.
Right.
And one thing I realized, and this is kind of funny, and I gotta say this: when you are out of the matrix and you can see the matrix code, and the red pill has made the scales drop off your eyes like Saul on his road to Damascus.
Mm-hmm.
You start talking and saying things, and my buddy's he was saying, "Well, you're just picking through the shadows for stuff, dude. You're just saying it was a sausage fest," and I kind of had to like
It
kind
was a
of
bun
hold
fest.
myself.
It wasn't no sausage. It was
No, he said the
basically, it
first
could have been
movie was like a
could have been a
sausage
salmon
fest.
fest. There's enough women and fish people in it.
He was just saying like the first movie was like a sausage fest, and you're just picking through the shadows. He said, "What is it that you just people keep saying this? More wanting to have a masculine presence." He said, "You're just grasping at stuff," and I was just like, "Wow!" But then I had to realize, I said, "Slow down. Don't let your emotions get heavy." I said, "Is this the end of a almost 40 some odd relationship with somebody that's your best friend?" It's like, no.
Yeah, no shit. Like,
Calm down. I said,
did he
and then,
just
but we all,
cross the line? Did homie just cross the line?
and I had to think about that, and I was like, no, chill out, relax. Um, sometimes you don't want to debate and go into things with somebody, but then he was just telling, I said, I've heard it, because I said to him, like I said to you, I'm not going to go see that shit. I don't want to see that fucking flick. But then I was getting emotional. And like how you said, and also listening to Angry Man this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and by him breaking it down, I remember you wrote in the chat, said that's why I like to hear the review from Angry Man, because Angry Man's not just going to give you emotion. He's going to base it with logic of why and what's going on.
One
What
second,
you said,
hold on 1 second, Malika. Shout out to who was this, King Parrish, for supporting the stream. He said, supporting my interests 100. Appreciate you, King Paris. I will give you what Malika calls the 3B salute. Appreciate it. All right, Malika, go ahead. I just want them to get that before we got too far off.
I could tell he's still in the matrix on certain things where what we see, like how Angry Man was stating it and you stated it, and we all talked a couple of days ago on Dr. Tia Son Johnson's stream, where the blatant just not showing strong masculine roles, and when you have
blatant
Winston, and when you see Winston Duke, he's just the big buck in there.
He is basically that
and I was talking to my aunt, and she said, "Well," and she doesn't know. She said, the dude that was up in the mountains with the snow." I said, "Winston Duke. He's Umbug." She said, "I don't know the names," and I didn't want to go into it with her because she's just saying it was good. It had good representation.
Just
I was like,
think about it this way: that was the silverback gorilla in this shit.
Exactly. But then I'm seeing online different people talking about, oh, it's great because we're seeing Afrofuturism and everything. I was like, oh, here the fuck we go with this.
Yeah, who'd you hear that fucking phrase from? Shut
They're
the fuck
they're
up. Yeah,
I'm
like,
seeing
God damn, these people good for repeating, boy. That's what you saw when I put in Angry Man's chat this morning when he was talking about it, and he said he repeated something that somebody else had said to him, and I put that damn parrot in there. Like these motherfucking parrots, boy, they good. Give them a cracker.
but it's
They
not
don't
even the
even think about the
parroting.
shit that say it's Afrofuturism. I said, what artsy motherfucker said that dumb shit? I mean,
But that
really?
but you know what, that's the new thing because what they're showing technology and Afrocentricity and people they even had some Latino people come and say, well, it's good to accept Afrofuturism definitely with Latinos in it. And I said,
Shut the fuck up.
y'all motherfuckers is just
Look,
putting chocolate syrup over dung, man. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
chocolate syrup over light brown shit. Look,
yeah.
it's not Afrofuturism. You know why? Because it's supposed to be contemporary to our time. Okay,
Hmm.
Yeah.
get over that shit. I know what words mean. And one, if it was gonna be futurism, why it got to be based on a hairstyle?
Exactly.
Well, as I know, in this last movie, most of the chick was bald in that bitch. So there ain't no afros to be found. Now, futurism would be cool if it was sci-fi. This is not sci-fi. This is a superhero movie set in our contemporary times, which means all of this stuff is supposed to exist now in reality.
Hmm.
Now,
If it
the
wa-
city of Wakanda is, or the country, nation of Wakanda, is supposed to be further advanced than everybody else.
But it's
But don't
contemporary.
try to put the Afrofuturism on it now since you brought it backwards in time to be right here with contemporary community. Fuck you.
Mhm.
I want to hear that shit.
And it was just
Love
showing.
Beasley.
What up?
What's up,
Can I
homie?
can I
I'm
say
sorry, brother.
can I say this real quick? As far
Yes,
as the
sir.
Afrofuturism comment, I said, if it was Afrofuturism, why the fuck did they get their ass beat by a group of people that was only using spears and, like you tell it, water bombs, water
Water
balloons?
balloons. Spears and
Water
water
balloons.
balloons. Yes, because that's my first question. Is like, okay, Talokan was just as advanced as Wakanda, right? Okay, what was their technology? Still waiting to hear it. What was their tech? What tech did they have? They were
Um,
riding fucking whales. They were using vibranium spears. They had a fucking glow light, a glow stick underwater, and they had water balloons.
and vibranium seaweed.
Yeah, and heart shaped vibranium and lace seaweed.
And little
Awesome.
masks,
Hi.
little fucking water mask. That was about
Yeah.
it. That was the
Okay.
most advanced
There you
thing they
go.
had. That
There
was the
you
most
go.
advanced thing they had. Water
Which
mask.
basically could have been a goddamn jellyfish on their face for all
You know
intents and
what?
purposes.
You know what tip they used to beat the Wakandans? Latino masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the tumor was getting into that ass. I was like, God damn, girl, you needed something.
Heat. That's what he was using. Heat. Mayan
Look,
fire from underwater.
and look, I told my aunt about the movie. She said at first, she said, "Damn, I don't even want to go see this shit." And then she went and saw it. She came back after I woke up on Sunday because I work overnight. I said, "What the hell was y'all at?" So we went to go see that movie. She said, "What score did you give it?" I said, "Like a 5." She said, "Me too." That shit was. She was mad as hell. Like, I told you not to go see it. That's why I took the L for you.
I've heard about some black women not really liking this movie. Right, Angry
Yeah.
Man's been putting TikTok shorts up there with these black women who didn't like the movie. I was like, damn, really? That it was made for you. They did it for you and your little girls. What's not to like? I really want to know. So and like Loc Pop Talks is saying in here, I watched Black Panther 2 or Black Panther 1 the other night too. I watched Black Panther #1 again and sent BGS and Dr. T some notes that I made on it, just making some corrections because what was the first correction that I made that I told him I was wrong? It was this way. I watched #1 again, and then I watched Civil War again. And I really did find myself missing Chadwick. I really did. missing the Black Panther. And since Pop Talk was in here saying that right now, it's just showing. We talked about this before with comic books. When comics are coming out and there's still new stuff coming out, and you find yourself going backwards to read stuff that was actually good, that means the stuff that they're producing now is shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with movies. If you get to a lull with movies and there's new stuff coming out, but you're just like, it's not, you know what I really want to watch? I want to watch this thing from the 80s. And you start finding yourself binging on old stuff. That means the stuff they're giving you now is unsatisfying. That's exactly what it means, because your mind for entertainment is looking for comfort. And without being able to find it right now, contemporarily, you go back to what you knew did entertain you. And that's why you go back and start watching this stuff. It's like reading an old book. Like, this one was always good. Let me go back and read it. It's been a year. I'll go back and read it again. What did I say? Let me see. I want to correct this because I want to let y'all know too, because I'm not too big to admit some things. Let's see. What did I tell them? Outside of the fact that I did an 83-minute fucking audio review of the movie and don't feel like putting it out for y'all because I don't feel like reviewing the goddamn movie again. So what did I tell him? Watching Black Panther again, I was wrong. In Jobu, Killmonger's father was on the ancestral plane and he had never taken the heart-shaped herb. So this flies against my thing that Shuri should not have seen Ramunda because Ramunda hadn't taken the heart-shaped herb, right? But Prince Njobu hadn't taken the heart-shaped herb either. But he was on the ancestral plane when Killmonger took the heart-shaped herb. So, in fact, that point in Wakanda Forever still tracks. You call out to who you want, who you need to see the most. And that's why when Killmonger went to the ancestral plane, he saw his father. Because his father believed in that religion, right? And when Shuri went there, her call went to Killmonger. Killmonger picked up the phone like, "What up, cuz? What is it? What is it? Oh, you want to fuck them up? Yeah, burn the world, girl, burn the world." So that's why I kept that comment up there highlighted about watching Black Panther 1 again. I did just last night. I swear to God, I watched both of them back to back. I didn't find myself wanting to watch anything else. Like, I just had to cleanse the Wakanda gyno wash off of me and go back and watch actual Black Panther and really watch it again fresh and see that Nakia did, in my opinion, Nakia did love T'Challa. She was giving him shit, but like BGS talks about, that's that Klingon mating ritual. You know, she gave him smoke, but in the other moments when they weren't talking, you could see she was affectionate towards him. She did like him. They liked each other, right? Now, that don't clear up the whole, take this money and run away with my son shit, but that don't clear that up. But it does clear up the fact when she says in the second movie that he was her world, you would believe that. Because even in the beginning, when he showed up to come get her because he's going to be coordinated, and she start going off like, "Oh, you ruined my mission," or whatever. And he's like, "My father's dead and I'm going to be king." She knew what it meant. And like, okay, I'll be there. Coming. I'm there. And she was happy for him. She was the one who actually grabbed that heart-shaped herb to make sure they had one because she was on that shit. Like, yeah, maybe we'll give it to M'Baku or whatever the fuck, but we need this. We need this. And she did care for him. So that was the thing I just corrected. She did seem like she was playing her for a sucker, but that's that. I mean, we all black men in here, ain't we? Most of us, I don't know. But we've dealt with black chicks before. Black chick talking crazy to you is kind of par for the course. Like giving a little bite back. Look, if she was Latina, you'd be into that shit. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's okay." You trying to be a little spicy with me, right? It wouldn't be a thing. Women always give you a little bit of pushback, just so they'll make it easy. Even though they want to be with you, they're gonna give you a little bit of pushback. You wouldn't want a fucking, doormat at all. Like, I'll just lay down and do what you will. It's like, I don't even want that. Never mind. I'm good.
But you know
Not
what,
even
man?
worth it.
I had to learn, just for me, a learning thing, and you kind of said this, and even my boy said it. He said, dude, don't just make a blatant statement. Go check it out for yourself. And I allowed my
Yeah.
emotions kind of get the best of me, and I was thinking about that. And I gotta apologize to you for like just blanketly just jumping out in emotion and not just using my better judgment and being logical and just going see it for myself. And like you were saying, just don't talk shit about something that you haven't seen. You know,
Mhm.
see it for yourself. And I had this thing, I was like, okay, man, you're more intelligent than this. I can understand you might have your feelings about it and how the way media has been portraying black men, and you're seeing the blatant disregard and the emasculation and the what is the word? Misandry,
Miss Andrews.
black
Yeah.
misandry of our men. You've been seeing it all your life, but now you're really seeing it now because for the past 5 to 7 years being in this space, you've been having an education and then realizing that you can decrypt it and you can see stuff and you look at stuff with a jaundiced eye.
Yeah, you have to because part of being to me, part of being a critical thinker is you always have to know what you think. You
Mhm.
always have to know what you think. Doesn't matter who around you may agree or you trust and may have told you. You have to know for yourself. That's the difference to me between like talking about Dr. Tommy Curry's book, but actually buying it and reading it yourself.
Exactly.
Because once you buy it and reading yourself in this, what is it, 400 or 500 or something pages, you may pick out a different point that nobody else has ever mentioned that may have resonated with you,
Mhm.
right? So you may hold on to that when you have a conversation about the man not, and then we're having a conversation or something else, and that association clicks for you. That's when you bring that in because that's what you got from reading it. It won't be the same point that everybody else said. It'll be your point. It'll be your
Mhm.
perspective because that's your critical thinking being engaged in that. That's what's important because that's where the growth happens. The growth doesn't happen from hearing and reacting or hearing and repeating and reacting. The growth comes from hearing, circling it around in your head a little bit, and then giving your thoughts on what you heard, not just repeating what you heard, giving your thoughts on what you heard. That's the difference. And that's why I was trying to make that clear with people because I knew when I came out of that movie and I did my reaction, that was going to be red meat to anybody who just wanted to shit on the movie anyway. That's why
Mhm.
I said I was having a hard time with it at that point. Is that I'm trying to say it to not make people overly reactionary to it, but I'm trying to give my reaction too, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes you gotta understand the beast you're feeding. Do you want to just throw them fucking red meat? Because the rest of the reviewers that wasn't black folks was already going off on this shit. I don't want to sound like them, but talking to Dr. T, me and him, understood that is that because the movie didn't hit in certain goals for us, it kind of forced us into alignment with people we don't usually want to be in alignment with. But that's the funny thing about this shit. It's like, yeah, because they said it was bad and we know it's bad for the reasons we know it's bad. It kind of puts us in the same boat with these people who just think all this shit is bad anyway. Right. So it's like strange bedfellows all of a sudden, like, yeah,
Mhm.
but don't touch me, man. Don't touch me. Like, yeah,
But
we
then,
here together, but fuck. Like,
but then
so
also,
that's
you know what
why
I noticed
it's
though?
important you got to see it for yourself. Go ahead.
Also, I noticed like when we were talking on your show a lot, when we have a lot of well, not a lot, a few young guys that come on,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Yeah.
probably in their 20s, right?
Got skirt.
And when we talk about like, just what we're talking about, maybe Black Panther, and we're talking about what we know and the growth, and just talking about geek culture, and they'll give their perspective on it, and we're like, well, this is what happened. Yeah, but and they haven't did the research, or
No.
they haven't put in the time, or knowing when they're just coming to the table what they have. from what they've seen from movies or TV show or from graphic
Heard
novels.
another reviewer saying they think that, well, he don't know this person, so I can bring it over to his space and repeat this shit, and then I'll get some accolades for it. No, nigga, you're gonna look like a dumbass.
And I felt bad because I said, you know what? I said, dude, you sound not to be dissing the young kids because that's just youth and ignorance, you know.
Yeah, it's just youth more than anything.
And it was just to me, I was like, okay, you're smarter than this. I said, get your emotions out of this. And if you really want to, like how you said, bro, just go see it for yourself. Then you can partake in it. And you can really have your view on it. I said, you're smarter than this, dude.
You emote all over the place after that. Like, you seen it? Yeah, I saw that shit. Okay, what you got? But
wanted to chime in. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, Locke? What's up?
Oh yeah. I was gonna tell you. I was trying to send the Cash App, but I lost connection when I was leaving Walmart. But it's lock pop. It's supposed to be a play on words because I got drags. But when I watched the film, I went over on Game Changers channel because I was hearing the fellas talk about the film, and like you said, I watched your immediate reaction when you came out. And I was right. I was concurring with everything you were saying. I was pissed the hell off.
Mm.
But what pissed me off even more was is hearing the fellas go in about the women in the video. Like, oh, they were going through this and they were doing that. They didn't deserve this. They didn't deserve that. When I watched the film, and I do say this as a married man with 3 daughters, when I watched the film, though it was some bullshit, all these women paid the price for their choices.
Yeah,
right. So listen, and I brought it up on Game Changers channel. I said, what did y'all think of Okoye when she lost Shuri and she tried to plead to the queen? Please don't punish, don't be so harsh with me. I gave my life to the throne. And then the queen shut her whole shit down and said, listen, I sat there and watched you take up arms against my son. And I seen you defend this country with a man. Though he was the rightful king, you were disloyal to this family. And
that's why I said Queen Ramonda was on that bullshit at that point.
Right. That
was another one of the things when I went back and watched Black Panther 2. Okoye never took up arms against T'Challa. As soon as T'Challa showed up and she saw he was alive, she turned on Killmonger. She had never taken up arms against anybody.
Yes, exactly. I just watched I literally left my house like 20 minutes ago from watching Black Panther. And she said, I am, now she did shed tears and she felt bad for her friends. She felt bad for her family, but she did say, I'm loyal to the throne. Exactly. And Ramonda asked her, right. She asked her, she said, when Nakia came back, they snuck Ross to see the queen. She said, where's Okoye? She said, she can't come. And the look that the queen gave her was a face of betrayal. Like, oh shit, like the greatest warrior we got.
Yep.
And she can't be here, whether it be duty bound or not. And she blamed Okoye for it. Now let me tell you, how many movies have we seen where the second guy, the lieutenant, whoever's in charge, when he fails his mission, he has to go back to his boss and tell him, boss, we got taken out. And the boss always asks him, you're the only one who survived? And he says, yeah. What happens to that dude?
You usually can get killed or punished in some kind of way, but that's
the worst thing you can do.
Hold on, can't talk over me on my own show. That's always the reason why those bosses are looked at as terrible villains. That's the same reason I'm saying Queen Ramonda looked like she being an emotional ass and a terrible leader when she did that shit. Because what she was saying is some personal shit that wasn't even accurate. Okoye is loyal to the throne. It's not just you, motherfucker. You go back and watch the first movie. Okoye and T'Challa are like friends. They're more so friends than, yes, he's my king, but before he was king, he was just a prince. And she was still messing with him a little bit, like, big sister who can fight with you and stuff like that. That's what she was to him. So she loved T'Challa. And yes, he was possibly dead, but that was the rules of the tournament, motherfucker. He did lose. He did fucking lose.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Start Wakanda's killing Wakanda's all of a sudden. Look, like she said, she's throne. That's her job. Her job is to protect the king. There's a new king. He won in ritual combat. The fuck you want me to do? You should have been loyal to me. That's some bitch shit. That's some woman shit. Go fuck your code. Be on my side. Nah, that was foul, dude. That's why I said I wasn't feeling Ramonda at that point. She was wrong for bringing up that personal bullshit in the middle of you lost Shuri. Motherfucker, you would let her go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked, but you the queen. You said it was okay. Shit happened in the field.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But
real quick, let me say this. And I was like, damn, at least let her go get her. Because I was like, damn, at least let her go. She just said, let her go do the fight. I said, damn, at least let her go get the girl back. Why you gonna fire her and not at least let her redeem herself as punishment? She got to return with her or don't return at all. Shit, goddamn.
Well, that's the part I mentioned in my review, is that what was the very next scene after that? The very next moment after she fired Okoye and Okoye walks out, what's the very next scene? Ramonda taking her simple ass into Shuri's lab and tracking her Kimoyo beads, her earrings, to know where the hell she was. I said, why don't you do that fucking shit first? Everybody in there was telling you to calm down. You didn't want to hear that shit. Can't nobody tell Big Mama nothing, right? Okay. And then right after you fire that chick, you go in there and find out, oh, she's still alive. Let me go find Nakia and see if Nakia can find her. Do what? You better go apologize to Okoye then. Like, she wasn't kidnapped. She went on her own. Stupid.
Look, as much stupid shit had in this movie, I got even more pissed off when I posted my little Facebook review of the goddamn movie. How many people want to come in my goddamn comment section? I said, look, I'm not finna debate you people in my damn comments about why I should like this movie. I didn't like the movie. If you like the shit, good. But get the fuck out of my damn comment section talking about what was wrong. I said, bro, I didn't like the same motherfucker that wanted to try to check me on the She-Hulk jumped in my comment section again. I'm like, look, you just like all this Marvel shit, don't you?
Yeah, y'all love arguing on Facebook. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I'll ask people what they liked about something because I just want to hear what it was that they liked. And I may joke with them about it, like, man, you must be crazy. But I really do want to know what they liked about it because maybe I'm seeing something. Maybe they're seeing something that I didn't. You know, I want to take that information in for the whole picture of the flick and not just my own solitary experience. But I can take in some new information. Maybe it might change my mind on something that I saw. But don't tell me I should like it because you liked it. Why, motherfucker? No, that's not how my emotions work. No, homie. No. Why? Why should I?
Yeah. And then a chick hopped in my comment section that I know. She tried to say, well, it happened. Why would they recast the character that died in the comics? They literally didn't change the story.
He's not dead in the comics. He's alive right now in the comics.
Exactly.
That's what I said. That's what the fuck. I was like, that's what I said. I was like, they did change the story, and I said he had a healing factor from the heart-shaped herb. No disease would have killed him like that.
I would ask her, do you read comics? Then shut up talking about the fucking comics. If you don't read fucking comics, why the hell is you talking? You heard somebody else tell you something about what happened in the comic books? Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You arguing from a position of ignorance. With somebody else talking points stuffed up your ass. No, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry.
I was like, no, because what I do is when people do that shit, I hit them with some facts straight from the comic book about what certain events. And if I don't get no response, then I have my answer. And I still haven't gotten a response. That was Saturday. I'm waiting on my response.
You ain't gonna get one because that's the same thing Black Bane always does. This is what makes me laugh when I talk to Black Bane because it's always leading. So I was talking to these people on Facebook. It's like, God damn, nigga, every time. Why do you even go there to talk to people? They don't know what the fuck they talking about half the time. They just want to argue. And it's fucking Facebook. Go ahead, Mike.
Can I go back on something when you guys were just talking about something a few moments ago with the talk with Ramonda and Okoye?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I mentioned this to my best friend, and where you seen Queen Ramonda, she's in her emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Right then and there, when you're seeing that she's in her emotions and she did something wrong. I said, first of all, you fire your best man. No leader will fire their best man.
Your general.
Under circumstances that you know, like, okay, it's not bad. And then when you see that she's like in emotion, she's picking, well, you did this and you did that. Hold up. She never did anything against what she was hired or what she was raised to be. Mm-mm. She did everything to the T. She was honorable to what she was supposed to do, and she did what she was supposed to do. But because something that didn't go well and something went wrong, now we get emotional. Now we point the finger.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, this is the problem why we need to have men that balance out, men that make good leaders. If it was a man, he would say, look, cooler heads prevail. Remember in the first Black Panther where what was the British actor that plays the guy from the CIA? What's his Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
When Martin Freeman touched
T'Challa,
and Okoye said, if he touches you again, I'll break his
Yeah.
neck. And he just looks
no,
at
she
it.
said, "I will pin him. I will impale him to this desk."
Yeah, I'll impale him to, and he just looks at it and he's like, Okoye.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's calming
Does
it
she
down.
speak English when she wants to? And then he walked out of there, and then she was like, "No, fucking Americans."
To point out this, she never turned against Chala, even when she was with them. Because remember, when they sit in the throne and Killmonger wants to send the weapons out, he said that would be X, Y, and Z. And he said, and then it was Wakabi. He was like, this is true. This is how Wakanda used to work. But in order, because he switched up because Killmonger got the dude that killed his pops. So even in his absence, she was still trying to defend the throne and what it was about.
Still advising. She's still doing what she's supposed to be doing. She's the general of the Dora Milaje, right? She's going to give him counsel, just like she gave T'Challa counsel, because like she said, she's loyal to the throne and whoever sits on it. So if M'Baku had beat T'Challa, she'd have been doing her same job. The Dora Milaje would have been doing the same job for fucking M'Baku. It's the same job. It's the same deal. It's not tied to you got to love our family. No, motherfucker. It's about the throne and about having that work, having this whole nation work the way it's supposed to. It's not just you.
Artisan, you'll get this movie reference. Okoye is not a Tom Hagen. She is not a Tom Hagen. She is definitely a wartime conciliary. She's going to advise in the best effort of Wakanda, not the best effort of the king or the queen or whoever's on the throne.
Exactly. So shout out to Loke Pop Talk. He gave 2 donations. First one said, supporting the content and the rants. Appreciate you. BGS is the rant man. I just go off sometimes. And slow detonation. And then he said, my bad for the overtalk. Don't worry about it, man. It's just first time up. It's always because my mic usually is a little lower and I talk lower. So I'm not trying to throw my nuts on anybody, but we got to talk in some decorum so everybody can hear all of us. So I will give you what Malika named the Bedrock Booty Bounce, and I call it the 3B Salute. Appreciate it. And since you doubled up, I will give you what Charles Faulkner calls the guts and butts. Appreciate it.
Double up 3 or 4 times. I ain't telling no lies. Never let a hard time on the was.
All right, we back on program. Oh, here go Beastly Nerd now, dropping it in there. Appreciate you, Beastly. And now I give your ass the tater thoughts.
Double up 3 or 4 times. I ain't telling no lies. Never let a hard time on the was.
I just wanted to see the chick fall out of the car again.
Yeah. 120 out the car. 3T out, falling out the car. What you got? What you got, Lock Pop?
Nah, I just but after my little say so about how that all went down with the Queen, I was like, ultimately, once I calmed down, like you guys were saying, cooler heads prevailed. That movie was so terribly written and played. I couldn't take it out the whole weekend. I was like twisted because I'm like, this could have happened and that could have happened. And I watched so many podcasts. I said, I can't do this. So I couldn't take it no more. So I went back and watched Black Panther 1 because I was like, bruh, this character, not even talking about Chad, this really meant something to me as a 38-year-old man.
Mhm.
I can only imagine what this could have. I said, you imagine if, fellas, if we were in our preteens, what this movie would have done for us if we were that age.
What the fuck? We've been leaving the theater talking about, well, you get to be a Koye.
I mean,
Just like
have you
in
had?
Be on Baku. I'm still gonna be
just like in Power Rangers, like, oh, nigga, I'm the red, you the blue, and the green. Well, you gotta be. It's five boys. Well, you got one of y'all got to be the pink. I'm not the
Look,
pink.
one of y'all gonna be
Oh
Trini.
my
One of
god!
y'all gotta be the Pink Ranger. Figure it out.
Oh my god! Yo, so I was in Macy's, right, when my daughters were doing like Christmas shopping and stuff like that. We're in Macy's because they got Toys R Us now. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but some of the merchandise, one of the toys that they sell is the Dora Milaje spear.
Oh, they
I don't know
do.
I don't know if
I
y'all
bought
seen
one of
that
those.
yet. I'm gonna
I
probably
haven't
take a
seen it.
picture or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't
But
seen it yet.
so on the
Hasbro.
box, yeah. So we checking it out, right? Me and my youngest daughter, she's 8 years old. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe she wants to be interested in it. She grabs the box and she's like, "Oh, I'm not interested in it." And I said, "Why?" She turns the box around and it's a young boy holding the spear. I'm not joking, y'all. I'm dead ass. I was like, "What?" It really was. He wasn't wearing like a Black Panther suit or nothing. It's a little black kid and just like, some kente cloth holding the spear of the Dora Milaje. I was like,
Do
"You're
me a favor.
joking."
Don't repeat that again. I don't want to. So
Yo,
let me go
we
ahead and
had
get my
to.
trigger warning out there.
But you know what's so funny with that?
Bring up
We
this
all
brother
pick up and
BMT. What's up,
understand what's
BMT?
going on with
Oh,
that.
Malika. What's up, BMT?
What's
All
up,
right,
man?
go ahead, Malika.
You know what? We'll all pick up the symbolism with that, but some people say it's just a spear. It's just a
Yeah,
kid
it is
holding a
just
spear.
here.
And I said, no, you're not getting what it's showing. First of all, it's a spear for a particular group of people that wield it, and you show it on the box.
Only females, the only female contingent of Wakanda, because that was the other thing I got when I went back and watched the first movie again. It was the question, where were all the men? And then when you go back and watch the first movie, you realize all the men are in the border tribe with Wakabi. And all the men in the border tribe went against T'Challa when he came back, because Wakabi sided with Killmonger and they were defeated, right? Wakabi threw down his sword and, bent the knees to Okoye so she wouldn't have to kill his ass, and they surrendered. That's where all your men went. That's why the Dora Milaje is making up most of the fighting force, because all the rest of these dudes either got exiled or put into, I guess, prison, just like Wakabi ass. That's where they went. All the rest of them that were left was what showed up in Infinity War in that battle. That's why you had the Jabari stepping up and doing more security. And that's where they went. So that's why I said I went back and watched that movie, because I had certain questions I wanted to answer for myself. And that was some of the stuff I was pulling out of there. Just like I told Dr. Tia-san that Killmonger shouldn't have died from a vibranium spear to the chest, because even in the Black Panther movie, when T'Challa got stabbed by M'Baku in the chest, once he won and went and laid down in the dirt and they gave him the heart-shaped herb, what happened? It healed that wound immediately.
Yeah, it did.
So Killmonger shouldn't have been dead. Shouldn't have died. And the other thing I proved was that in the first movie, you see when T'Challa comes back and he's fighting against the border tribe in Wakabi, and they all have vibranium swords, and they hitting him in his armor. It's not cutting through his armor. It's just bouncing off his armor, even though they're both vibranium. Vibranium swords, vibranium nanobots, right? Only way to get through it was the little sonic resonance thing, right? Okay, Namor ain't got no sonic resonance. There was no way in hell his vibranium spear should have went through Shuri's nanobots to stab her in Wakanda Forever. That was a fault. That was weak-ass writing, like Locke was saying, just to give her the same kind of moment that T'Challa had. And when I go back and look at it, that's all that fucking movie was. It was a bunch of repurposed scenes from the previous Black Panther movie, just switched around in different places to give you another movie. It was the same fucking movie. It was literally the same movie. Black Panther 1 and Iron Man 1 mixed together in the same shit. And I'm like, that was some lazy ass writing. That's somebody trying to push through and get this shit done because they didn't want to do it. That's what that shit is.
That goes to that theory that I was talking about in the chat, specifically with Victoria Alonso, as far as why we saw. I know people are saying that it was the rights issue with the Namor thing. I'm not really fully convinced of that. I think it had to do to the fact that Marvel didn't want to get sucker punched in the mouth by DC again. Because if you know what DC was trying to do, next August, that's when the Black Beetle movie comes out. I mean, the Blue Beetle movie comes out. That would be DC's first major Latino character, and that movie's been in development since 2018. Not to mention, they was already finna do this Latino Batgirl and Supergirl shit, and so Marvel don't really have those characters that stand out. That even though they introduced Robbie Reyes, but that was on the television side, and America Chavez didn't really take the way they wanted it to. And so, me personally, that's why I felt like they used that. Victoria Alonso put that in this movie because, well, we can just take Namor, a pretty powerful character, and switch up the culture a little bit, just so we won't get caught. We won't get caught with our pants down by DC again, like the same way they did with Wonder Woman.
Well, I can see you thinking that they're trying to get the Latino representation in there as quick as possible because America Chavez is just one character. America Chavez wasn't there for the Latino representation. America Chavez was there for the LGBT representation.
Yeah.
Because she has the two moms and then she ends up being lesbian anyway. That's why she had the flag on her coat and stuff. Victoria Alonso is pushing this, but her push was that transgendered Anika character in the movie. That's her push because that's what she's on. So I can see her pushing a little bit for the Latino pride and shit, but I can also see Ryan Coogler doing that since they don't want to just do Marvel's version of Atlantis when you already have an Atlantis in cinema now playing right now. Their movie is going to come right out soon. I mean, as soon as it's bad enough that the Talocons look like the fucking Way of Water folks. Okay,
Avatars.
Yeah, the Avatars. Bad enough there, dude. They did that and called them Atlanteans too. And then you got the Woman King shit in there. You would have felt like this was not even a movie, dude. This is like 3 parts. You wouldn't even add a movie. You wouldn't even watch the shit. Like the Woman King already passed and I missed it. Avatar is coming out in the following month, and Aquaman will be out next year. So I'll wait. You would have passed on it all together. That was just something so they can build up another culture inside the MCU. And shit, the Black Panther movie wasn't nothing but a damn host for the chest burster to come out of it, because that's all that came out of it. Namor and the Talocons was the chest burster into the Black Panther. That was it.
Look, I just asked my 12-year-old cousin who just came in here and said, because he went with my aunt. I was like, "Did you like the movie?" He was like, "No." I was like, "Wow." He said, "Because it was stupid." I said, what was stupid about it? He said, "The story. It didn't make sense. It was just about the Namor and Samaritan and all them." And I was like, "All right, that's all."
Their movie. Yeah, it was their movie. They could have did a solo Namor movie, and passed on putting it into a Black Panther movie. Could have did that, because that's mostly what it was. We got a whole origin story for this culture within another movie. Like, holy shit, dude, we didn't even get the short version. Like, we got the whole long version with flashbacks and everything. Like, I know who his mama name is. Like, god damn, that was a lot. Jesus.
And that was
Fooled
just
me.
a slap
I've
in
said
the
I don't need
face.
another origin for none of these characters. And look, they do a whole origin in another movie and called it a day. I had much action for me to take more than it wasn't much action in it. Black Adam had a hell of a lot more action. But
Right.
it's interesting. I'm telling you, I've already told you guys, watch this weekend's box office to see if there's a spike in Black Adam and a drop in Black Panther. Because I told you after Black Adam, that was going to be the teller of what this Black Adam movie did. Because as soon as Wakanda was going to blow it out the water this last week, it was just going to happen. It wasn't going to be there. Wakanda was going to be number one, but that second week of Wakanda was going to be the teller, because whatever was happening in that movie, indications were that if the audience wasn't satisfied, it was going to drive traffic to Black Adam. And that's why you see in Black Adam get more money right now when it's in its second, third week.
Yeah.
Third week is still gaining more money. Why is it gaining more money? Because this one sucked. Nobody liked the estrogen party. They want to go dunk themselves in some masculinity and see, black men kicking somebody's ass. I mean, Jesus.
My kids. Oh my God.
Go ahead.
In the words of Martha Gutterley, my bad.
Oh no, I was just just right quick. I said my kids, my wife were jumping in their seats when we saw Black Adam because of the action. They was like, "Holy shit!" Like when he first woke up, it was crazy. They was like, "Yo, he bugging." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." This that movie right now.
That's the same thing I said. That scene from the trailer was the one I wanted to see, right? When he fucking raiding that whole dude, right? I was waiting to see that shit. I was like, I want to see that scene. But what I got after that scene, it was so much more fighting. I was like, God damn, this is awesome. he was going ham. I'm like,
it was funny when he came back after from the Blackgate base and he showed up. Hawkman was like, beat his ass. I was like, yeah, because you started getting your ass whooped the entire movie.
Yeah. Better somebody came to get that ass whooping other than you. Because he can handle you. So you might as well whoop on somebody else. So what you got, BMT? I see you sitting back there smoking and toking.
I didn't I'm weird like that. I didn't really have a problem too much with the film. I really didn't. I got what I came for. I got my masculinity in one film. Then I got my Marvel film. So I'm actually, me and my critics are pretty fine with it, because we already saw where it was going with Marvel, and you brought up a good point. We some of us reviewed it, what you said, and we went there with no hopes or no agenda or shit. We went to go watch it.
No hope. He abandoned all hope.
No, it was the same thing. Like it was like, okay, like it was like same way. I had the same, like, I don't try to go in too much with expectations, but then it's gonna get ruined. It was just like watching Wonder Woman 88. I'm gonna go watch it. Yeah, 84. I'm gonna go watch it. All right, I saw it. I got it through. I got it out the way. Just like I'm going to go in there. I'm going there. I watch Shuri. I already understand what's gonna happen. I've already seen plenty. But I've even had a few Latin friends go with us, and they brought up and I was like, did y'all feel like y'all got good representation or stuff? I'm not fucking Mexican. God damn it, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm like, well, now y'all winning now. So, you know what I'm saying? So now y'all winning. Y'all
can't be mixing those up, man. Can't mix those up. People take that shit personally.
Well, I feel like they were winning. I'm like, how does it feel y'all get to beat up on women now? Y'all didn't, you know what I'm saying? But you did bring up some stuff. Like, a lot of people kept asking the question. And I'm glad that you actually brought that up. You beat me to it. Like, where were all the men? And all the men, they got jailed. They all got put in, Wakandan law is pretty strict. So, I mean, they could have got put to death, but they just got, we're going to just put y'all in, confinement.
Yeah. From Ryan Coogler's own interview, he was interviewed before he was interviewed before general audience release, right? And the interview asked him what happened to W'Kabi. And he was saying that W'Kabi had gotten exiled from Wakanda. So he out there wander around like the lost tribe or some shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking if Wakanda went with the exile and not the imprisonment, that means all the border tribe is gone too. Anybody that revolted, sided with Killmonger is fucking gone. They're gone. Right. Now, I don't know if that includes all those war dogs who were, sleeper cells in all the major cities of the world. That don't make sense to where the hell they are. But Border Tribe, they probably out of there, and you got to replace them with somebody. So I don't know.
The Border Tribe would be gone. The sleeper cells that he was trying to activate.
Yeah, the War Dogs would still be there.
Right, the War Dogs, they were out and about. So, I mean, it's not like he got the weapons out there to them. You know what I'm saying? And to be fair, whoever's the king can activate them. So it's not technically like the War Dogs are breaking the rules, but they're like, well, shit, the king.
No, because they weren't even there for the fight. They weren't there for the fight.
Right.
There, they got their orders that these weapons are coming, and you take these weapons and distribute them to the black folks in this thing so they could overthrow the government. They got their orders and they waiting on their orders. They waiting on the weapons to show up. They wasn't there for the fight. So by the time they didn't even get any weapons, because that's what Everett Ross was doing. He was keeping the weapons from getting out of Wakanda. So after that whole fight, I think they got new orders that wasn't happening, and they just went back to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Went back to doing what they was doing. Right. Yeah. So that's the whole point, right? They there to be spies.
Michael Koye just following orders.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing about it. Like she told the spy, she was like, "It's nothing personal, but my loyalty is to the throne. I don't like who's on the throne, but it is what it is. Like you don't have no loyalty. I got loyalty. Like whoever's on that throne."
What she said. I cannot go and come as I please, like you. Like no, my job is to be here doing this.
Yeah. So I may not like the king who's in the throne, but he did beat him in fair combat, and so that's who's the king is. And he said, then once he saw T'Challa, she was like, "Oh shit! Well, combat continues. Oh, you're not going to continue? Okay, I guess you can't be king. You got to actually beat him. If you didn't beat him,
there was a reason for her revolt against him because T'Challa was alive. That's all she needed. Like, nope, fuck this dude. Yeah, you out. Well, none of that.
Right. So it's just one of those things. The stipulation. Yeah, I mean, it does happen. I kind of rather have the Skrull have fucked up Wakanda, but hey, I guess we got this, which does happen. Wakanda gets fucked up plenty of times. So
it happens sometimes. They don't get fucked up. That's why in comics, Namor. It's only two people who actually get at Wakanda, and that's Namor and Doom, Dr. Doom. They're the only ones. Right? Nobody else fucking with Wakanda. Now,
I'll take Namor anything.
This Namor fight with Wakanda, it wasn't even really all of Namor the Talocons. It was just Namor and a few other people that came in there and really just was kicking Wakanda's ass. Outside of that, look, they made the dumb tactical error about going off in the middle of the ocean to fight, the merfolk. That was stupid. I'm sorry. That was dumb as fuck. God damn, dude. Tell them to show up to the desert. I mean, what the fuck? No.
I was like,
in the middle of the ocean. I was like, yeah, y'all are about to die. And then you saw right from when Namor showed up and threw that fucking dragonfly copter into their ship, a bunch of them died right then. And there we go. Numbers depleted. What did you think was going to happen?
I was like, that was the dumbest shit. I said, we're going to meet them where they at. In the ocean? I'm like, oh, this is not finna go how y'all. And I said, and y'all bringing the same weapons that y'all had? I said, y'all not going to upgrade none of this shit? The only people that got new suits was Nikita. No, not Nikita. The other chick in Okoye. I was like, oh, hell no. Y'all finna get y'all ass dusted. And when they showed up, I said, shit, the only person that got a standing chance is Shuri. The rest of y'all is fucked.
And that's what they looked like on that ship, didn't they? They looked fucked. When Shuri and Namor, by the time Shuri and Namor came back, what was they looking like? They was down to a handful. They had a whole top barge full of soldiers at one point. You come back after 15, 20 minutes or so, it's a handful of people left. I'm like, you lost all them good soldiers.
And the Tolokana was still coming. They were still swimming their ass to this. I was like, damn.
Still showing up to the party.
I was like, oh, man, this shit bad. I said, damn, y'all couldn't at least hover this bitch over in the air, make it fly or something? At least make their ass come out of the water so they don't have a chance. Nah, we just going to fight up. We're going to make up a big-ass submarine / boat in the middle of the ocean and think we're going to do something. If I was
going to have a fight like that on the ocean, I would have had flamethrowers and getting fire on them bitches.
That's
so Resident Evil.
Dude, That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
I was like,
Right on the side of the ship.
why didn't y'all have y'all's weapons like with like a plasma heat that would cut through their flesh to where you could actually kill them, as well as maybe electromagnetic pulse weapons that can shut down the breathing of the oxygen, as well as shock weapons? Because I don't know if the Olympians did.
You could have just electrified the whole of the ship. The motherfuckers
Yes.
is right on the ship and they soaking wet. Electrify the whole of the ship. We got fish sticks, nigga. What the fuck? Like, doing everything but the smart shit, and they supposed to have two geniuses on their side. Like, Jesus Christ.
But see, that's where it transcribes where you can be smart but be dumb in a fight. Like,
but practically stupid, yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that was like one of the sins of her. Like, she's not a fighter, and that's a great weakness. You're not, and I understand that's why the general's like, I got to get you out there in the field, because your brother's been out there in the field fighting and going out there actually doing stuff. Shit, we never thought to take the nerd out there and actually like get some experience or actually like run some missions. Like even like they had to say like, hey, T'Challa, make sure you don't freeze. I don't freeze. Okay, cool. I forgot. Yeah, we've been training you. She's not been training for combat, so it's gonna be kind of hard versus Namor. Like, shoot, I be fighting fucking Krakens down below and shit. This is a normal thing for me, so I can take a punch. You can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely night and day. Where what I'm saying, like where you can be smart but dumb in a battle. I think this is why nobody likes Smart Hulk versus it's just like the Incredible Hulk.
The brute.
It's just one of those things where the brain's got to know when to play it back and let the bronze take over. Only person that we know who's kind of like that is holistically Tony. Even Mr. Fantastic, to an extent, he plays support and tells everybody, "Hey, do this, do that," and you got the thing doing all the work. So,
and Beast.
But see, even in comic, Beast can fight, but most of the time, if it comes time to like do some hacking or some technological stuff, Beast is going to stop fighting and go over there and handle that. Like,
yeah,
and he's done that like during like when Apocalypse was taking over, like he had them doing the hard work while he was like getting on computers, hacking stuff. Like he had to mainly say, listen, I could be out there helping y'all fight, but I need to be at this council, like trying to figure out how to keep us alive. So, Riri Richards, them just showing her. I hope a lot of y'all are ready for this. She's gonna have Tony or Jarvis system predominantly teaching her how to fight, because Tony has the experience and Rhodey has the experience. Hell, even Pepper has a little bit of experience. Riri doesn't have it, man. She's just smart, and that's the big issue with a lot of these. With some of these kind of these, like when you have these comics where we're gonna take the smart person, have them just start blazing through and beating up stuff. It doesn't hurt to have brains, but it also doesn't hurt to also train your body. I think they even had teachings about that, like, hey, you got to train your mind and also your body. Shout out to God of War. Sherry just not that person. That's why when she ran out there in the first Black Panther movie, she was scared. She was just missing her shot. She wasn't really doing anything because she wasn't really a warrior like that. That's why Easy Killmonger went after her. Like, oh, this kid don't even know what they're doing. So I don't know why people thought that she was gonna be able to shoot the fade with Namor. And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can got a little bit of tech, but you don't have no actual combat prowess. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it's just very telling, especially with a lot of these Mary Sues that you're going to be coming along. Versus DC, they're getting back to their roots about, okay, we need some less goofiness, more brash, dark. It is what it is. This is the laws of nature. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see that. Henry Cavill's on board. Tef Adam, he's on board. That's why I didn't go with high hope. That's why I said the Black Adam Wakanda Forever movie didn't really surprise me, because I already knew Shuri is not a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not a fighter. She's more of a thinker. You probably would have been, they would have been honest. They would have honestly been able just giving they would honestly just get pardoning all the men. They should have just pardoned them. They should have just pardoned the men and say, shit, I know if you want back into Wakanda, you got to fight these motherfuckers. Like we need the men back.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you understand what I'm saying? That would have been more of a feasible job as of royalty that they probably should have brought that to the War Council. Like, hey, we might want to start pardoning the exiled or the men, or better yet, they got the White Panther. Yes, there is a White Panther in Wakanda. It could have gone talk to him. They know Shuri has access to them. There's different things they could have done. Anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes.
But I'm just saying, we just brought up some ideas, Archon. Like, you could have probably pardoned the exiled ones, brought them back in, called on the White Panther, or there's different things you could have probably said. You know what, y'all want to be back.
The White Panther is problematic because then you get into T'Chaka having an illegitimate son, a white son.
Fair enough.
It gets problematic. We already have one problem. Don't want to involve the other one. I will say, Kendra, she has some good story ideas for changing that damn show up. If you didn't see her stream, go back and watch her stream. I think it was yesterday that she did on the Woman King, and her insight was actually valuable. I actually asked for her to do that because I was really curious to see what a black woman geek actually thought of that shit. And Kendra is the one that I know that's in this space that will actually have a critical eye. Like the reason I like Angry Man's reviews of stuff, no matter what I thought about it, he has a very critical eye and he will not give them any leeway. I'll be kind of nice on certain shit. Like even if what I went back and reviewed Wakanda Forever right now, I would feel a sense of like, I'll give you some on the acting with Shuri and story progression and stuff like that and development with some of these characters, right? You basically got Okoye free from her responsibilities and now she's free to do whatever goofy shit they're going to have her doing next, right? There was some good things in there, right? Having an Angry Man review ain't none of that shit. He ain't giving them no quarter. Fuck that. Because Angry Man is a purist on the comic. But he can articulate a lot better the feeling of a young boy finding these comics for the first time and what it means to him. And he takes that shit seriously. That's why I like hearing Dr. T's perspective, because Dr. T gets into the masculine of it, right? He'll get right to the heart of the masculineness issue of it, right? Africana studies, all that stuff. BGS will give me the esoteric version of that stuff, right, of what it all means. That he was the one pointing out when I told him last night, I went back and watched Black Panther 1 and 2, and we're talking about the heart-shaped herb stuff. He's the one bringing it in, is that it is part of the ritual of the death and the rebirth of taking a heart-shaped herb and being buried and then coming back up from being buried with the herb in your body is part of that whole I wouldn't even say Gnostic, but it's part of that whole belief system that you are basically dying by taking a heart-shaped herb, going to the ancestral plane and seeing ancestors, and then being reborn as this thing. He's clued in to seeing that. I may give some leeway. Angry Man is a purist, right? And then you switch to Kendra. She's the feminine of the geeks, right? So you have these 4 to 5 people who can all watch the same thing, but all have different takes that they pull out of it when they watch it because it's based on their perspective and what they know, right? Angry Man had a short up the other day where somebody had said something goofy to him on TikTok, and then he pulled out his comic book box and started pulling out them Black Panther comics of Ta-Nehisi Coates to show, yeah, I actually read this shit, motherfucker. Just like me, like, yeah, I read all of that, and it's garbage. Not just for the parts that most people know, from the parts that I read, and what I sat there and thought about is like, this is dumb as fuck, Ta-Nehisi. I mean, fuck, dude, you might be a decent writer, but you are shit on Black Panther. And right after that, they gave his ass that World of Wakanda that died. And then they gave him Captain America, which white boys really hated his ass for. I didn't even read that shit. I didn't even read that at all. Like, fuck you. It's bad enough you fucked up Wakanda. I don't need to let the white boys deal with you with that shit. I'm still reeling over Wakanda, so I was done.
I'm going to bring this up another point from the movie with them wanting to kill Riri, which didn't make sense to me, because if they're trying to kill her because she invented this machine, I said, here's the problem with that. There's no actual definitive timeline from when she built it to when it ended up in the government's hands. In that time frame that we don't know of, we don't know who saw that machine and was able to duplicate the technology, because let's be honest, this is a government piece of tech. We already know how governments are when they get a new piece of technology. Everybody want to try to get their hands on it because they're trying to study it, like in the movie with the vibranium. So you mean to tell me it wouldn't be just her that they'd be trying to kill? They should have went after a list of people. But I know she invented it specifically. But still, it's like, okay, you don't think S.H.I.E.L.D. probably saw this shit? You Fury up in space and say, oh, wait, they got a piece of technology they can do.
Well, here's the thing. There is no S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. Mm-hmm. S.W.O.R.D. is the one that's up in space, and S.W.O.R.D. deals with extraterrestrial threats, right? So Nick Fury ain't dealing with this shit right now. So there is no S.H.I.E.L.D. The company or the group that stole her design obviously is in the university and working with the professor, because she built it to prove something to the professor. So obviously the professor is working with the government or one of them alphabet agencies some kind of way that they got that design and actually put that in there. Now, you also know how America is. America is fucking selfish. They ain't telling everybody shit, especially if we gonna get a leg up on this vibranium. We about to tell everybody else? Fuck no, nigga. No, we ain't telling nobody. I'm surprised the government didn't kill Riri themselves.
Me neither.
She ain't built the thing and ain't thinking shit of it. They ain't took them damn schematics and made a whole working model of this shit and using it already out on a rig somewhere. Now, what I heard somebody say was that the chick that's out there on the rig with the drilling platform for the CIA, she is connected to Dr. Doom in some kind of way, right? So there's a lead in, an Easter egg in a sense for, okay, Dr. Doom was probably the one behind this shit getting fast tracked or whatever, that he's operating behind the scenes. Okay, I could buy that. I also said on Sunday that, this virus of unknown origin that attacked Black Panther and only Black Panther and killed him and couldn't be stopped by the most advanced society on the planet. I said, I would believe a better story point would have been that he made that shit. And that's why they didn't explain where it came from yet, because it's paying off something later on down the road that Dr. Doom show up and say, yeah, I poisoned T'Challa. Now what? Like, what? And that will give you your Doom War that Wakanda want to fight with Dr. Doom. Because, I was doing all this to soften you up. I took out your champion. We put it in the hands of this little weak chick. We got the Talocons to get all angsty and get up there and fight in your ass. And now I'm going to come in for the final sweep and take all this shit. I was like, okay, third movie. Damn, if that turns out to be the third movie, they might get me to watch the shit.
I'm not counting on them.
Walk it back. But
I ain't counting on them to tell a good story. And that's even if Ryan Coogler comes back, depending on how this shit do.
Well, shit. This shit right now, because everybody, all those directors have pretty much gotten trilogies. Ryan Coogler will probably be back for another one, regardless of how this did. I don't want to believe that they was just kissing Taika Waititi's ass so much that they gave him to. Because remember, he was going to do a Thor 5 until the backlash was so big on Thor 4 that Disney finally said, okay, we done, Taika, and you can forget about that Star Wars shit too. Until they was done. Okay, so he got two and out, and it was two kind of stinkers. Comic book fans hated Ragnarok. I say that because I hated Ragnarok. People who didn't know anything about how they jammed two good stories together in one movie thought, oh, that was an awesome movie. It's like, motherfucker, what? What was awesome about it? Hela not being Loki's daughter? Killing all the fucking Asgardians? What? What? Huh? Like, you don't know what the fuck you looking at, apparently. Like, damn. A goofy child-ass Hulk sitting there throwing tantrums and stuff like that because he can't play and do what he want to. Like, oh my god, no. What was
like
awesome about it? Banner face planting on the Rainbow Bridge. That was hilarious. All right, whatever the fuck. Like no accounting for fucking taste, but you like what you like.
so here's my trigger for me. I'm fine with Namor killing some bitches if I get Doom. I'm fine with y'all getting a fucked up.
God damn, the views.
If it means your Black Panther movie got stomped on for me to get Doom, I'm fine with that because I'm like, well, damn, who else we gonna get that's just as a nihilist like goddamn Thanos? Oh shit, Doom, that motherfucker, he can definitely talk you over to looking at it. Hell, he even talked Bass over to agreeing with him. Like the child, like, what the fuck, Bass? How the fuck are you with this asshole? He has good talking points. I can't lie.
Right.
Have you listened to him? No, we don't listen to him. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, dude, like, I'm fine. If I know y'all don't like hearing that, but if the Doom train is coming, I'm sorry, motherfuckers are going to be seeing more good guys take fucking L's. Why?
You should be.
Exactly. Like, y'all don't understand, man. Doom is the type of person. It's like watching like Star Wars. How many times did the rebels take L's while the Empire was making gains? And well, we got back to base, yeah, but I lost an arm, bitch, and also he's in carbon freeze, and this motherfucker's got shot, but we got away. Yeah. Y'all better get ready to take some goddamn dildos up the ass of Disney because that's how Doom gets.
I would like to believe that they are behind the scenes, that Dr. Doom is being built up as the next big bad, worse than Kang. Okay, because I've said this before. Kang's main power is being able to go through time in a suit. Other than that, he's a regular fucking dude that can take a punch in the face just like anybody else. Okay, so that's not special. Dr. Doom might be a regular dude too, but he has a lot more riding with him other than I can just time travel and fuck your life up. Dr. Doom can fuck you up standing in your face. He can fuck you up from behind the corner, sitting on his throne in Latveria and get some shit done to fuck you over. He is a whole different kind of fucking threat. He's a threat on multiple freaking levels to anybody. That's why it's better to leave his ass alone and hope he don't want something that you got. It'll be a problem, Doom bots or not. But I hope you're dealing with Doom bots. You got a chance at defeating them. He show up and he using magic and science and everything else. You're gonna have a whole fucking problem, a whole damn problem. So keep fucking around. To Southern Comfort's point, the reason why on program sticks in your head is because they repeated that shit enough times. Even though on program just means that you need to put your hands behind your fucking head. Look, the next time I get pulled over, if I get a cop telling me, say, get on program, I'm going to be pissed off because they watch this shit too. Now, the other one that should stick in your head is one way out. There is one way out. And one way out for me means how do you get to your freedom? Plain and simple. So, yeah, it did suck that he couldn't swim, but he should have just jumped. Fuck it. He could have drug him or some shit. Should have just jumped. But that's indicative of the struggle that even if freedom is right there in some people's face, they won't be able to seize it. They still won't be able or too afraid to grab it because they've already limited themselves in so many ways that they couldn't take it if it was there for them. It's just what it is. So, yeah, both of those stick. Both of those stick because they repeated them enough times. I think mnemonically it only takes like 3 to 4 times for something to get locked in your brain. So they repeated it enough times that happens. Do you trust Disney with Doom at this point? Trust them to fuck it up. So Yeah, I trust them to do whatever the hell else they're gonna do with Doom. I mean, say what you will about the MCU, they do tend to make some good villains. They
Right.
just tend to kill all of them. Now they're not killing them as much, not as much, but they tend to make some good villains.
But
They do.
but
You
you
give a
know,
fuck about their
artists,
villains more than the heroes sometimes. Go ahead.
but but you know what, bro? That's one thing. That's why I say there's beauty in dealing with Doom because you could have an all-out battle with motherfucker. Yeah, we finally got you, Doom. And what does it end up becoming? A fucking Doom bot. You didn't even fight Doom. You actually were
Yeah.
just dealing with a Doom
You,
bot.
you got fucking Kristoff or something like, who the fuck are you? You ain't Victor? Yeah, you're right.
Right. And that's how Doom gets down, man. Like you did a whole season fighting one fucker. That's why I said, like, to deal with Doom, you would have to actually make that a goddamn show because Doom
That
just
would be a trilogy.
right.
That would be a
He
trilogy. Look,
yeah.
the whole point of them doing Secret Wars is not so they can give Kang shine. The whole point of Secret Wars is so they can give you a God King Doom. That's what that's about.
Mhm.
Kang Dynasty is about, Kang being a big bad. The Secret War shit is about a God King Doom. Because don't tell me you about to do Secret Wars and I give a fuck and a half about a Beyonder becoming human for a second. I don't care nothing about that at all. But in the last 5 to 6 years, the only thing that was awesome that came out of Marvel with Secret Wars on it was that God King Doom story. That story was awesome. And it involved time travel and all the rest of that shit. So I don't give a fuck if they have Doctor Doom show up and blow a hole in Kang ass and take his time his time abilities and use it for himself to create the
You would
Secret
do
Wars. I don't care how
it,
to do it. Just get there.
You would do it. You would do it.
He would do it. You know he would, because look, this is how you can read the terrain of this shit if you've actually read the comics and stuff like that. Reading the what is it, 2015, 2018 Secret Wars, right? Reading that story, the main point of that story is having Doom go back in time or use a time platform to get to where the Beyonders are to get their power to remake the universe, right? So time is one of the things that's used there, right? You need that. You need Doom. You need Owen Reese, the Molecule Man. You need a little bit of time travel, and you need somebody with great power. Kang's whole thing is about time travel. His whole thing is about time travel. So now it may not have happened in the comic books because they diverging all over the place right now from the comics. But you know the general basis of these stories. If you've read these stories, you know the general basis of it. So it's not hard to sit there and think, okay, this is the whole story. These are the elements they'll pull out, and these are the ones that they'll use because these are the main points of the story. The main point is you just need to have a way for Doom to get enough power to remake the universe. That's all you need. And have all these heroes that you've been introduced to now in the same place in different roles, having to come together and fight against Doom with all this power. That's it. You could have him fucking kill Thor if you wanted to. I don't give a shit.
On
Because
some
if
Ultimate
you read that
Alliance.
story, if you read that story, Doom was sitting on the world tree. The whole white costume, lamping on the world tree. Like, this nigga's something else. Like, he is something else. Thor was his bitch. Thor was his police force. Thor Frog, and all the rest of that shit, that was his police force. Dude wasn't doing shit. He was chilling. Sue was his bitch. Sue was his wife. He took Sue Storm as his wife. Ree wasn't even there. Shit. Ben Grimm got turned into the wall that protected his kingdom. Look, what was Johnny? I think Johnny was the son or some shit like that.
Johnny was the son.
They fucked him up, dude. Doom was running all that shit, and he fucking atomized fucking Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, who turned against him, who was there with him when he was able to get the power, and Stephen Strange knew that he couldn't take it. Doom was the only one who could take the power because Doom had the will to make that shit happen. That's how much of a force he is. Stephen was like, yeah, but I couldn't do it. But Doom could. And Doom did. held that whole universe, that whole world together just with his force of will. And when Steven turned on his ass, that motherfucker put up a hand like Jesus and blew that motherfucker to dust. Like that was look, that whole story, that 12 issues of that Secret Wars was nothing but what the fuck moments. Every issue was what the fuck. And I tell you that because I was reading that shit issue for issue until it got bad because then they found out it was popular and then they started milking the fuck out of this shit. That's why I didn't.
We started seeing Secret Wars everywhere.
That's when it started being 12
Mhm.
issues instead of the original 6 or 8. Well, maybe we can get 12 out of it. They could just finish the story. Stop it.
And
Stop fucking around. What up,
And
VC Round? So yeah,
and I think-
Doom will, to no one's point, yeah, Doom can debo some shit. He can.
yeah, very
That's why,
easy.
that's why I call him Super Deuce in the universe. He's super number 2. Whatever field you in, Doom is second in that shit. And can quickly become first. So don't fuck up.
You know what I like about Doom, man?
What's that?
He'll wait forever.
He'll
And
plot.
he will wait forever, and he will be calculated.
Oh, thank God. Then he his most favorite thing was when he got sent to the beginning, and he conquered it and got what he needed and sat there and waited to the present. He just waited. I'm like, what kind of most people would have lost their fucking mind just sitting and waiting. Dude just waited to the present. Okay. I'm like, man, that's some Vandal Savage shit. Like,
Doom will not lose his mind. Doom will not lose his mind.
Oh, man, that was just
Third person.
that was just like when that Blade run when Blade got sent back in time and he was like, and he ran into Doom's mom. He was thinking like, damn, I have an opportunity to kill the most evil motherfucker in the Marvel universe. He said, do I have a chance to take him out? And everybody was like, and I think didn't he go back to the president and he ended up talking with Doom and they said you should have killed him.
Should have killed his ass.
You should have killed me. It was like I was reading that, I was like, you might as well shit. That's gonna solve a lot of problems.
So no one. Doom, like I told you guys back with the first Black Panther movie, there's only 2 villains people were looking to see happen with Black Panther. One was Namor, the other one was Doom. There's only 2 ways you go with that shit when you got a Black Panther franchise. You're either gonna have Wakanda fighting Atlantis, or you're gonna have Wakanda under attack by the forces of Dr. Doom. You just saw Wakanda fighting Atlantis, basically. So the third movie has to be Doom War. They'd be fucking stupid as fuck to get to a third movie with Black Panther and not do Doom War, because they already did the Atlantis one. What else do you want to see? What gives you a higher stake than this last one? The problem is the second one ain't that good of a fucking showing, and the writing wasn't that good. And Wakanda looks unrecognizable right now for what it was in the first movie. Now, you could say story-wise that it's so destabilized right now that it's ripe for a takeover, which would get you into a third movie. But what's the time frame going to be on it? Because you got TJ running around out there, young T'Challa running around out there. Is he going to be old enough to get into this fight or what? Or what? We gonna have to wait for him to grow up? Shit, you better hope you can catch me then, homie. You did too much damage. I might not be here for that. So they got to do something. They got to do something because they do want to use Doom in that Black Panther shit. But who's he gonna fight? Shuri? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like she won on a truce with Namor. Okay, she won on a truce. But other than that, the Wakandans would have died right there that day if he would have said, fuck you. He wouldn't have saw his mama and felt some kind of way about it. He could have said that, fuck you, kill me, give a shit. And they would have died. Them Wakandans would have died that day.
Doom don't do truces. Doom doesn't do truces. It's kneel.
Maybe Sokovia becomes Latveria. I still want to believe the place where Moon Knight was, where he was running on that field, that was Latveria. Latveria is its own country. in a different spot. I want to say that was Latveria, even though they haven't announced that or anything, but it does look like Doom's castle. But he was doing something there, and they still never resolved that in the Moon Knight show. What the fuck he was doing there looking for that scarab? How did he know it was there? Where was that? What were you doing in the castle? They never resolved that shit. I want to say that is like Marvel leaving big ass breadcrumbs for you to get to Doom. So if the castle in Moon Knight is one thing, this mysterious virus in Wakanda could be the second thing. Leads to something.
But you know the thing about it, one thing I could say, you don't go on Latveria and Doom don't know. I don't know.
You don't go to Latveria. You ask.
Right.
You don't
And that's what I'm
there.
saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be a high level secret agent spy to get in Latveria. Think your ass.
Even Captain America asked Doom for permission to come to Latveria. You do not fuck around in Latveria. You don't just trip across the border into Latveria. You don't. We gonna go see about Doom. No. That's not what you do. Okay.
Doom will meet you.
You better call a week in advance and ask permission. You get the whole
This is
world.
my theory where they're going to introduce Doom. Probably they introduce Doom or possible Doom is in after Secret Invasion.
Well, Secret Invasion has to do more with the scrolls than anything else.
Well, what
So
I mean is,
DMT would be happy.
them like basically they find out in the scrolls in Liberia, and Doom don't know about it. So he's on this shit like, okay, y'all kind of forced my hand a little bit. Now I'm gonna be Doom that every know. I'm gonna be working behind the scenes making shit happen.
I don't remember Doom having anything to do with the Secret Invasion. Secret Wars, yes. Secret Invasion, no. Secret Invasion is its own story, and it mostly dealt with the fucking heroes. So it's more so about the heroes not being able to trust each other because they don't know who's a scroll and who's not. Than Doom having anything to do with it because it wasn't his thing. It was something that the scrolls were doing. And Doom is fucking arrogant as shit. He don't ride along with nobody else bullshit. You know, he do his own thing. If he riding along with your shit, he gonna take it over. Cause he realize you ain't doing it right. He is just that damn arrogant. He will not do that shit. Like one of my favorite scenes with Doom was during that whole Onslaught shit, right? And they in the middle of New York, fighting in New York. And Onslaught has showed up, got his whole physical body and shit like that. Avengers out there, X-Men out there, whatever. And they look over and Doom just standing there, just checking out the scene. Like, what the fuck is you doing? You gonna help? Nah, Doom will not be getting involved. Like, what the fuck is you here for then? Well, this motherfucker showed up like Uatu. Like, I'm just here to check it out, see what's going on, because this could be a problem. Y'all fucking around might end up messing up Latveria. What y'all doing over there? What you doing? Okay.
Well, that's more so what I mean is he might get tired of the heroes bullshit. This shit, like the Thanos snap thing and with the Infinity Stones and then Ultron and then whatever may have fucked up Latveria, he's like, all right, I'm tired of y'all doing something because we don't know where they're gonna go with the direction of these damn shows because they got different writers and these goofy ass people act like they can't read a fucking damn comic book. So we don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I want a good story. That's all. I went into the damn Black Panther movie, even though I had already watched the review. I went and said, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna still watch it, and hopefully I can find a little bit of damn hope into it. I'm just trying to toss out some ideas so I can save your damn company, Marvel. Shit, I want to see good shit. Don't play around with the damn merchandise if you ain't gonna do nothing nice with it.
Yeah, I want to see good shit too. I mean, look, like Locke was talking about, they got a whole toy spear, Dora Milaje spear, and I thought it was cool for a minute. Like, yeah, I could buy one of them. That'd be kind of cool if they had a replica because I like the weapon. The weapon is a cool looking weapon, right? I get into that shit. But then when he said they had the little boy on the back of the box, I was like, oh, what the fuck? It's not. That's not. Never mind. Never mind. There were no boy Dora Milaje. That's just not what it was. You are not there to possibly marry the king. No, no, that's not what it is. Now you can get one of these border tribe swords, but spear shit, no, nigga, that's not how we advertise that. He got him in the. I'm sitting here wondering, like, do they got the little boy wearing the Dora Milaje clothes and shit like that too? What kind of bullshit is that?
Probably. Look, you gotta make that M'Baku club, war club shit.
Yeah, I need that war club.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, I damn sure would buy that. I need that 6-7 foot long one. not that one-handed shit he got after Namor broke his shit.
Oh my god, that pissed me off to the maximum when I saw that and he was holding his chest. I was like, what did he? I was like, how that? Because I'm thinking like, well, ain't this supposed to be man-made? Like, he don't have no like special powers to help him out. That at least he make him more formidable, or we just gonna keep him regular deck.
He was regular degular, but he prayed to a different god. So that's why I was making that joke with Dr. Tia-san that if M'Baku got the heart-shaped herb and went to the ancestral plane, you know, he'd possibly have to run into Bast. And he don't pray to Bast. He prays to Anuman. So what kind of conversation are they gonna have? Like, fuck you doing here? This for the Panther worshippers. What you doing here? Why you show up here, M'Baku? Who called you? Glory to Anuman, Bast. And come for the power. No, nigga. Get out of here. What up, Judge? Little Dora Milaje X, you ain't shit, Judge. Yeah. Little Milaje X, you ain't shit for that. Yeah, dancing in hell with the Wakandan spear. Lap dancing with a spear. Shit, keep fucking around. That's what TJ would be. That's what Black Panther Jr. would be. Like, oh, does he have vibranium nails? No, I just painted my fingernails.
We're trying to make a little Zayar Wade or what the fuck that
T'Challa Wade.
So let's stop. They might give these motherfuckers some ideas. Victoria might be listening. Ooh, that's a nice bush.
Fuck her.
You know, TJ's is the Fuji's 2.0.
Yeah, no shit.
He over there in Haiti.
Oh, fuck her. I told you a while ago about that. That shit. Mm-mm. Nope. So when you see that news about Disney and Chapek talking about layoffs and shit like that coming, because y'all done fucked up enough money. Y'all got some people got to go. That's a cover.
Messing up the church's money.
Yeah, fucking up the church's money, and that covered like, oh look, times is tight. We got to do some layoffs. That's how you get rid of all of them really quickly without having to deal with all that HR bullshit. You just have massive layoffs. Like, fuck them. Your whole department can go. Every other one of you. You can all go. You know, it was work shortages or some shit. You out of here. Bye. That's what he doing. He cleaning house. And he found a way to do it within Disney because he don't have the truck like Chapek. I'm not Chapek, but Zaslav has with Warner. Zaslav can just say, fuck no. No, it's over. No, it's never coming out. Fuck it. Cry about it. See if I care. It's over. and that'd just be it. Right? But Chapek, he got to deal with the Disney board and shit like that. And them motherfuckers, I don't know. She is kind of nice. Are you fucking crazy? How much money is this bitch in loss? Nah, she got to go. Well, I don't know, Bob. We'll give you 75% power. How about that? I need 100. 75, Bob. All right, fuck you. Take it or leave it. I'll take the 75 and work up another 25%. That's what that shit is. So when I saw that report and was reading, it's like, good. So they're going to be gone sooner? Thank you. Hurry up. Make sure you get the big one. Make sure you get the big one. Sure to get the one you don't. Don't chop his dick off, dog. What are you talking about? Sure, Junior. No, you're just going to have a dress on. He'll have the press-ons on his little Black Panther Jr. costume. What are you talking about? Had elite nails. Sit around, man. Shit, don't chop his dick off. Not yet. I already got the what I thought was funny because it can't really be considered a lesbian relationship, can it? If one of the females doing the kissing is actually a trans. So that's just a heterosexual relationship now, right? Visually, it looks like two women, but it's not. So
Trying to make sense now, brother.
yeah, it kind of makes sense now. Like, oh well, it shouldn't be that bad then, should it? Whatever.
Kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose. It does, doesn't it?
Hey, I'm punching out real quick. Now I gotta do this one. Class real quick.
All right, basically, stop fucking around in the Facebook rooms. Repeating that shit. They give Dwayne Wade the role of TJ. Yeah, they could. They could, Josh. They could. We have to see what he's going to be. I mean, everybody writing him off already. Like, there's too many women around. There ain't no men. Oh, this kid's lost. Like, it's like, damn, we all talking from our own personal experiences or what? Like, yeah, he lost.
Yeah.
He lost calls. He gonna be fucked up. That boy gonna be fucked up. Look, he might turn out to know how to pay his bills and shit like that, and rub his mama feet. Shit. Might turn out to be a good Delta. I was telling somebody else before, it's like, there ain't no real alphas in the black community, as I heard it, because the boys aren't trained to be better than the women. They're trained to be subservient to the women, and that's not an alpha. You have to leave the community to become an alpha, but you ain't one in it. So it's like, angst. I want to hope for the best for this boy. Keep my fingers crossed for TJ, but we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. I'm not holding out a lot of hope, but, yeah, Magic Johnson Jr., yeah, you're going to look like, see, you already know. Maybe Gabrielle is a Dora Milaje spy. Worked on the spy. Oh, shit. I don't want to see it go that way, but the kid's still young. He can still grow up on film a little bit. But they'll probably recast his ass before the next movie anyway. Because now that they introduced him, they're going to have to show his ass again. And the only place I can think that they would want to stick a young kid that's T'Challa Jr. would be eventually make him Black Panther and throw his ass on the Young Avengers, even though he was never on the Young Avengers. But fuck it, they going off book already. Why the fuck should they stop now?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing it from the MCU perspective, and you can see what they're doing with the Thunderbolts, how the way they're putting people on there. I mean,
well, that's the thing. The MCU perspective is only supposed to be, or was initially, is that the whole thing with the MCU was the Marvel Ultimate line. That's all it was. It was just the Marvel Ultimate comics books line. That's why you can have a Black Nick Fury and a Thor who, walks around and talks regular and shit like that, and drinks and shit like that. That was the version that they picked to start doing the MCU off of and use the Ultimate Comics. That's why the Ultimate Comics went away. Right. So they can go back and forth because they have all this source material to use, right? But some of this stuff is just completely off. It's not in the Ultimates. It's not in the mainline comics. It's just completely off for what they're doing in the movie. And that was not what they were primarily doing in the beginning. It wasn't. They were staying true. Now they're just deviating because the people that have writing this shit don't know that history and don't want to go back through it either. So that's why you get in this shit like this. Like, fuck it. This should work. Like, okay.
Well, there's one thing about they can get away with adaptation, but the big thing is that like how you said, at least for us, for fans and purists, I mean, but at least, for me, studying film and understanding, okay, there's adaptation, but could you at least, I can understand embellishing, but then also, can you at least keep some of the good, strong source material in there? Not just saying that, well, it's such as, no, can you just leave a little truth here that we can understand something? Something that is like, oh, damn, y'all just went a total, like, y'all just did instead of doing a
Complete.
180, you did a 360.
Yeah, did a complete left. Like, what fucking story was this you thought you was telling? This ain't nothing like that's them not wanting. Here's the thing. Anytime you hear one of these writers talking this shit about how continuity is a problem for them, it's because they didn't read the shit. That's why. Because they didn't read it. So they don't know it.
And they don't care.
And because they don't know it and didn't read it, they're fucking lazy. They don't want to have to go back and read it. They just want to tell their story, their truth. And that's why you get these stories that do nothing for the character, has no basis on what the character is like. And it's a story that makes no fucking sense. Because in fact, if you took that character out of it and you just looked at it for the story, it made no fucking sense at all. It was just them doing some bullshit. So, new stool's live. So that's what happens. They do not want to do all this extra work, and that's why I was pointing it out to Artie Immore that these are millennials doing this shit. These are not Gen Xers. This is not a Gen Xer play. Gen Xer has a fondness for nostalgia. That's why we like old movies and shit like that still. We have a fondness for nostalgia. We weren't raised on throwing away everything that's older than you because something's wrong with it.
You know what? It was just like how the way Angry Man said. He said, boomers and the certain movies that the boomers had and even with Gen Xers had produced guys like Angry Man, me, and you. And that's why they're having shitting on a great character like Black Panther because they want to get rid of all of the imagery and the hope and the masculinity that can breed men to think in a strong manner. Thing is, like, we grew up with, like, no, we actually look forward to seeing, like you just said, Dr. Doom is a very, very, very great villain, a very strong, calculating villain. The thing is, as the hero's journey, how do I defeat this guy? The first thing that a great hero has to do in order for him to defeat the villain, he has to defeat the villain within himself. And he has to realize, okay, this situation is bigger than me. And remember when AM was talking about Luke in the Dagobah system where he couldn't believe and he was putting too much emotion in, and Yoda was telling him,
that's why you fail.
That's why you fail.
That's why you fail. I don't believe it. And that's why you fail.
the biggest situation where, and if you go back, like you said, when you went back to look at Black Panther, the whole part where T'Challa goes and talks to his father, that was an important part. He had to confront his father about the situation with Killmonger. It wasn't just him stopping, like he had to say, Pop, if you got this young boy, then we wouldn't have this problem. But the thing is, it's not just going back getting him. It was an allegory of like, hey, all you Africans, why'd you come back to get us? We could have came back and we could have done something instead of us being lost. Killmonger represents us here in America, the lost tribe, the lost people that have no home, the people that are disenfranchised, that are pissed off.
All the lost boys.
And in the situation, the circumstance, it was bigger than just fighting the villain. It was fighting the villain within. And people were like, well, Killmonger was bitter. He had a right to be bitter. It wasn't just the cut and dry black and white villain that we wanted to have. And that's why that movie did so well, where people could understand not just black people, not just black men, but black women. Everybody could understand. That's why all across the world, this was such a very good story. And they said, "Oh, we can't do that. It's going to put hope and pride in these niggas, man. We can't have that happen again. No, 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 no. We got to quell it." And like Angry Man said this morning, what this did was why they're shitting on this is this shitting on men expectations just out of spite. You know, you he said what you've been saying for the past 3 years with KK, man. Like every time we get in there, he said, you can't tell me Kathleen Kennedy does not hate Star Wars.
No, she fucking hates Star Wars. She fucking hates Star Wars. My only question is, I don't know why she hated so damn much. I mean, for real, that's my only question. Like, why does she hate this shit so goddamn much? She is so fucking jealous of George Lucas. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm serious. Like, did he fuck her and shoot it in her eyeball or something? Like, goddamn, dude.
You know what, man?
Like,
I
dude, she
think
is,
it's that
she is too
pettiness.
hard up on this shit. It don't make any sense.
Well, you know, it's kind of like, well, you've been through a divorce, right?
Uh-huh.
But you take it to the extent. Let's take it to the extent where you got a person of power, and we'll take Dr. Dre when he went through his divorce, right? His ex-wife wanted to take his name and wanted to take his intellectual property, or
Yeah.
she stated that anytime he performed, she wanted to get it. And it was like, what the hell? How the hell you do that? You weren't even around when this man was creating.
That's what I said. That's what I said about that shit about her. That whole report about her wanting his name and shit. It's like the bitch wasn't even there when he became Dr. Dre.
But for
She ain't
her,
made
it
no.
wasn't
He wasn't there when he made records with World Class, Wrecking Crew, or with NWA. She came after. She came by way later. Why do you think you entitled to his fucking name?
because
Shut the
she.
fuck up.
But you know what I
Yeah.
think? She knows she's not entitled to it. The thing is that she knows that this is the way she can get back at him to destroy him, because by him building his empire and building something, she could take it away from him just out of spite. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, it's
That's
it's
all it
just
is.
like,
It's spite. But that's my thing. I get that it's spite, but spite for what? For him creating something?
yeah.
For him calling her a bitch one time? Like what? For KK, it has to be something. Like you can think women are just overly emotional and they don't act on some kind of reason. There is reason. It's just women logic, right? And usually, when you piss women off the most is when you don't want them or you reject them, or they feel that you've done something reprehensible to them. Now, that's what my question is. What is she on? What is KK on with this George Lucas and destroying the Star Wars universe shit? What is she on? What it
I
has
don't
to be
know, man.
something serious for her. Like, for
It's
real.
one of the mysteries of the universe, man. We'll
And the
never
only
know.
thing you can think of is like, look, he either did something really fucked up to her for real, or she just petty like that. Well, that doesn't make any sense because she ain't. I don't think she's going that hard against the Indiana Jones franchise as she going against Star Wars. I mean,
We'll
she's
see.
fighting. She is literally fighting to stay in this Star Wars shit to finish fucking it up.
hmm
Like she cannot leave until she plants the last bomb. Like what the fuck, dude? Just leave. You don't like the fans, you don't like the universe, you don't like the characters. If it feels too restrictive for you, then just bounce. Nobody
Because she,
trying to make you stay. But no, before she leaves, no, I got to use this character too, and I got to use this one too, and this fan favorite one too. And oh, you messing with my characters over there, John? Fuck you. I'm gonna use your character over here. I'm like, bitch, just go. This is some petty mean girl shit. If you don't get your ass on, I mean,
you know, it's
Jesus.
kind of ironic. She's being very calculating and very careful, just like Palpatine, planting the
Hell no.
seed.
She not being careful because all her shit is visibly transparent. What she's doing, no matter what she comes out and says in the press, you see exactly what it is with her. She does not like Star Wars. She does not like the fans of Star Wars. She's all well and good to make Star Wars into something she wants it to be, but she don't like George Lucas and she don't like his ideas. And she wants to destroy every one of them so they can't come back. That's what that's visibly obvious. That's obvious, right? But the motive for me, because I'm coming from a psychological point, is the why. Why is she this hard up? What is it that triggered in her brain that she just decided to get up this one morning and say, I'm gonna destroy this man's whole legacy. Everything he built over the last 40 to 50 years, I'm gonna destroy every piece of that shit and take what's left for myself. Fuck him and fuck all these legions of fans all over the planet. Fuck all of them. No, I will destroy and burn this down. And you already know what that goes to when you think about the woman shit. A woman scorned. Okay, so George didn't want her or something? What the fuck? As far as I know, she got a whole husband who rich as fuck. Frank Marshall, fucking baller. He got beyond George money. He could have bought that shit if he wanted to, far as I know. So what's the issue? It don't make sense. Don't make sense. What up, Judge?
Hey, what's happening, Arson?
Just sitting up here on a Tuesday talking some geek shit.
No worries. On the current subject matter, I think I agree with 85% of what you guys are saying, but I think it's dangerous for us to get into the man in the white hat, the man in the black hat mentality, right? The Dr. Evil, the person with the evil lair. I understand even I fell for that for a while. To put it on one person, it's not a one person thing. This is a cabal thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cabal. And she may be the face on the coin, but
I would believe that. That's why I said that he can use this layoff thing to get rid of a bunch of them. Kathleen Kennedy, make no mistake of it, is the face and the kind of the head of that shit over at Lucasfilms. She's not the head of it in Disney, but she is the face of it in Lucasfilm. That's why I went through and pointed out to you guys every one of these chicks in every one of these studios who's on this shit. This is a cabal of people, but they have their sleeper agents in place in every one of these places. That's why you know the name of Victoria Alonso now, and AK, and Amy Pascal, and all these people. These are the people that's in place doing this shit. Yeah. Now, they all may be working together. That's why you get Team Pride all over the place. But it's where it is in the company that it is. You have to look at it. Because if KK is on one arm of Disney, which is the Lucasfilm, Victoria on the other arm of it in Marvel. What's that?
Oh no, you were Morgan for a minute there. It might just be me.
No, you're Borgin and you're freezing up too.
It might just be you, because I'm not moving.
Okay.
So
yeah,
the point being is that within Disney. Yeah, within Disney, there is more than one of them in there. KK is one of them in Lucas. Victoria is another one in Marvel. I don't know who the person is over at Pixar who's doing this shit, who sits on top of this shit. But the other one that's in Disney corporate was the one that Chapek fired, the dude. This is all, they all on the same shit.
Yeah, because here's the thing is look, when you look at the bot again, I come from accounting background by education and by trade, and when you look, like, those numbers are being seen, right? There's a recognition that we paid, whatever they paid, $1 billion for this franchise, and successively every movie and every project it's not even following the law of diminishing returns. It's before this, nobody could imagine a losing Lucas product,
No,
a losing LucasArts product.
yeah. I would have thought that was something they would never have done. I was worried about it, but I'm thinking, I said it forever. I don't think they'll cut the goose that laid the golden egg's throat. They fucking did it. They fucking
Yes.
made you watch them do it. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Why?
Like even bad games still sold well. So yeah,
so they're getting rid of her. They're just it's the slow route to firing somebody. I tell you that much. It's the slow route. The stuff that I'm hearing and how they're going about getting her out of there, she basically has almost no power now. It's just those projects that she's working on, but she keeps trying to find ways to hang in there longer. And I think what it is, she's trying to wait out Chapek. That's what it is. And that the board keeps coming down on her because she keeps wasting more money. They're trying to push her, finish these fucking shows, and get out of here. Well, we got a problem. Well, we gotta do this. And they're like, no more. Spigot is cut off, bitch. Run with what you got. Let's just get it over with. But we got something else. Well, maybe I'll just leave. Maybe I'll just throw my hands up and leave. No, you can't do that. You gotta finish a project. It's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't care if it never come out at all. Look, just get it out of there. Just go.
and again, as a carryover to the point, right? That it's a cabal of people, and just like that whole Florida situation with the politics of that Florida situation down there, where they lost even more money by being involved in that. It don't say gay.
Yeah, I think that was that
bull crap.
That was behind that executive. That executive was the one behind that shit. That was the one that Chapek fired. Right after he fired him is when he started getting a lot more stroke with the Disney board, and that's when he started really going after Kathleen Kennedy, because he got that. He basically, what it looks like to me is he got rid of her cover, because this guy was a higher up executive in Disney corporate, right below the board of the directors. So he was able to push a lot of this shit out, and he was one of the ones behind the scenes instigating that worker revolt against Disney behind that shit. They got rid of his ass quick. And right after they got rid of his ass, that's when KK started shutting up a little bit. I think he was her cover. That was her go-to guy.
So it's
I'm forgetting his name at the moment.
It's a crazy crazy thing. It's a crazy turn. I just trying to imagine pre the new 3 and everything else. Like I couldn't imagine that you could lose. You could have losing investment in Star Wars. It just was not. It was unheard of. Unfathomable.
Right? Unthinkable. That thing has been a juggernaut since it got rolling. It's like, dude, you can put Star Wars on anything and sell. You can put Star Wars on toilet paper, and you would double sales of toilet paper. People be saving that shit. Come on, man. You could have put that shit on anything.
And
it would have sold.
This is a franchise that all you needed were some sound effects to increase sales. Like if you heard the firing off of a blaster, the firing you can't unsheath it, I guess, but you understand that the sound that a lightsaber makes when it fires up, blaster sounds from the spacecraft,
that's the Lucasfilms logo when it would come on the screen, and then you would hear the lightsaber lighting up. That alone got people excited in the theater. You see that Lucasfilms thing start materializing and hear the lightsaber light up, you automatically, oh my God, what's happening? You excited. Just it don't matter what movie you in there watching. If that popped up on the screen, you was all ears. Right from that point,
or black screen and just the speeder sounds, or the spacecraft sounds, which is weird again because it's space.
Vader
right?
breathing,
right?
Darth Vader breathing with a soda juice. You would have automatically knew what it was. Automatically. So,
Like
fuck all
I
of
don't
that
think
up.
there's
I was
ever
like,
been a
Jesus
franchise
Christ.
with that level of recognition.
I don't. Outside of Superman or a Batman, no. That's why it's special to so many people, and they
Yeah.
care for it and are so passionate about it. Because understand when you hear KK talk about these new fans and stuff like that, what she's also saying at the same time is she's making this for the new fans. She's saying, "Fuck you, 50-year-old people who've been with this forever." That's what she's saying. She don't care about you. She don't care about what you've liked all this time. She don't care about people who've devoted their whole life to it and got their arms tatted up and everything else with Star Wars shit all over it. She don't care about none of y'all, none of your conventions, none of your cosplay, none of that shit. She don't care about none of that. She only want the people she want in Star Wars. Fuck all of you.
As a
What's a
matter of
new
fact,
fan? A new 10-year-old?
as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think one of their marketing deals was literally a black screen and sounds from the movie, and at the end of it, they did that, "Dun-dun!" and then put up the logo up. What franchise do you
Because
know
that's
that
all
could get away
you
with that?
need.
And have people
I don't
in
know
the
of
theater
another one.
going, "Yeah!"
Other than the what is it, John Williams, the Superman theme on a black screen.
On just a
It's very few,
black
very
screen?
in Elite Cinema that would sell off of just that. Just a black screen, and you heard a sound effect from it, and you would automatically know what you were in for. Because I can tell you, for me, being an Xer that grew up on Lucasfilms and Lucas Arts games and stuff like that, that Lucasfilms logo means quality. That's what it used to mean to me.
It
Quality.
used to mean, yeah.
Everything was going to be about quality. The game or anything, it was going to be about quality. It don't mean that shit now. I hear Lucasfilms is like, what the fuck did they do now? What did they do now? What did this motherfucker do now? It's like she has sullied that whole brand. Anything falling under Lucasfilms is now sullied because of her being there. And you look at all of it with the side eye. Perfect example. It's Tuesday, midnight tonight. I'm gonna sit up and watch Andor because the show is really good. But you wouldn't know that because ain't a lot of people watching it. Why? Because the Star Wars brand has been tarnished so much by the shit that she's done. The shit that she's done. It's tarnished so much. People are like, don't even, well, I don't give a fuck, dude. Whatever. Oh, it's a good show. Yeah, but I still don't know.
That's where I'm at with it. Yeah.
Once bitten, twice shy. Yeah.
That's
all
where
I can keep
I'm
doing
at
is
with
telling
it.
y'all, man, this shit was awesome.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And the other part about it, as far as specifically Andor, I don't know. I got a bad taste when somebody explained to me in the first episode. He's literally he literally. It's kind of hard to make somebody sympathetic who in the first episode, in the first 15 minutes of the episode, commits cold-blooded murder.
He does commit cold-blooded murder, and I can tell it's not about being sympathetic with him. That's the thing. You get sympathy for that character from where he comes from, in a sense, and what he's going through. But that first 15 minutes, I'm not feeling bad about that character for what he did. Those fucking cops was on some bullshit. They were on some bullshit, and they were out there and fucking him up, getting capped because of that shit. That's your business, motherfucker. You get what you get. I don't feel bad for him. I don't. I'm not judging Andor, and I'm looking at them cops and say you should have been fucking around. That's what you get. Power corrupts. You were corrupting, and then you just ran up on the wrong person that day, and then you got taken out. I'm not crying for you. Sorry.
I'm just saying that is definitely a break from the thematic. Now we can say, we can argue that and say Han shot first, but
it's not even that. This is in line with his character, because when you saw Cassian's character in Rogue One, he shot the dude that's supposed to be his friend so he could get away. He shot him in cold blood. Shot him in the back. Andor, at that point in Rogue One, he is a spy. It's about information and getting
Yes.
away. He does dirty work for the
Yes.
rebels. He does. It has to come from
Oh, okay.
somewhere.
So
They
that's
didn't
who
just give him a job and say,
show's
"This is
about.
what we
Okay.
want you to do now." Right.
Exactly.
And this show is about before he joined up with the rebels. So he was already on that kind of time. Already.
Oh, okay.
He just ended up getting into the
Okay.
rebel alliance. And they
No
used
one-
him
Look,
in that fashion.
when I look at it, when I look at it from the lens of Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2, when you could pick, if your guy's going to be rogue, if he's going to, you know what I mean? Okay, I can, yeah,
But
I
can I
can,
say something to you though, Judge? This is
yeah,
where a lot of people, like you said, you can't view this with the black hat or the white hat. You got to come in with this gray hat. And this movie has a lot. I mean, not this movie. This series has a lot of shades of gray.
right.
And
Yeah, but-
here's one thing with this movie does. This movie, I keep saying movie. This series is not dealing with Sith and Jedi. It's dealing with the muck and the mire of how the way this universe works politically,
Right.
socially, and how the way things are, and how the way the Empire is coming in, just bum
So,
rushing and taking things over and wanting to run this universe in a certain way.
okay, so
There,
I think the angle
Yeah.
that I came about it is the wrong angle when I was thinking about it. Okay, I was only because of the way Disney did it, right? And they say that and they've they didn't use the extended universe stuff. They said that's not canon. Well, they're using parts of it, but they're saying it's not canon and everything. I kind of just cut that off, right? I just kind of, and I haven't been big on the animated side of Star Wars. So I'm just looking at it from the lens of the cinematic, right? And so that's not the thematic that they've basically used for the cinematic. But when I think about the extended universe stuff, when you're talking about, gray Jedi, when you're talking about white swords, when you're talking about all of that. And again, when I look at the SWTOR stuff, where you can be any type of character. You can be a soldier, you can be Jedi, you can be rogue, you can be whatever. That makes more sense in that, because I just didn't think they were going to take that angle by bringing it out, right? By taking Star Wars, the cinematic has it's one family's problem that the universe is like this, but there's an entire galaxy. And I see that's where you guys are coming from,
Right.
and that
And
makes a little bit more sense.
That's the thing with the Andor. That's the thing with the Andor show. It has. I don't even think they've mentioned in 10 episodes they've mentioned a Jedi or a Sith once. It has nothing to do with Jedi, Sith, and lightsabers whatsoever. What you get is a character exploration of people and one
Yeah.
character in this world, and the people around him in this world, where you see that you can make the argument that the Empire coming in was helpful, because you can see how these corporations and shit like that were there before them were corrupt. The people that Andor shot in that first episode, that fucking corporation, that was some corporate security bullshit.
Okay.
But when Empire came in there, they took that shit over from them. That's what the Empire did. That's what Palpatine's time was. He was on order, because the rest of this shit in this galaxy was and chaotic. He was on, I'm going to bring this shit to order. That's what he did. He brought it all, which is why the rebellion rose up. But you'll see people like Mon Mothma, who is a decent senator, doing some shady shit. She's doing shady shit. She basically embezzling money to fund a rebel alliance, to fund rebels,
Yeah.
because she don't like the Empire. She just doesn't have a good feeling about this shit. We losing our freedoms, we losing all the rest of this. Yeah, you are in a kind of way, but you also were kind of fucked up with the way things were going too. Because if you watch the animated side, you watch the Tales of the Jedi side, they show you a lot of these senators as corrupt as fuck.
Well, that's what I try to explain to people that people don't get. Like that what people I think fail to grasp in this is, and I try to make this argument, people don't get it usually, is understand, like, the Empire is the established government Rebels are terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Rebels are
Exactly,
terrorists.
like Greg is
Any
saying it here.
senators,
You funding
and-
terrorism.
and
Basically,
any
yes.
like, and any senator that's fucking with them, they're traitors to the overarching
And funding
power
them.
structure. It's
Yeah,
treasonous.
they call that a coup, don't they?
Yeah, that's cool, right? And the Jedi and the Jedi are essentially,
No,
you know,
lap balls of the galaxy of the Senate.
they're religious zealots that do violent shit.
That was the point I pointed out to
They are
people
the
about this whole
Al-Qaeda
thing.
of the
Is that
universe.
Jedi and Sith
Now,
are religious
the
orders.
Sith are also religious
they're
zealots
religious
that do
orders.
violent shit. Yeah, but you know,
Yeah,
right? Which
they
is
are.
why I was
They're
great.
religious.
Which was
they're
why I
religious.
was like,
they're a religious order.
which is why it was cool when in extended universe, right? They talked about the gray Jedi and the white swords and people who were like, yeah, nah, fuck
Yeah,
y'all.
white
Like,
swords is the fails.
yeah, like so you know, some of them were like, nah, you guys, it's essentially Catholics and Protestants going at each other. Like, I'm not a part of that. You know, I don't want to be a part of that. Like,
Muslim
no,
and Christians.
just because I have force sensitivity, I gotta choose blood or crip.
one
Nah,
side
man,
or the
like,
other. Yeah, no. Yeah, you gotta
and
get down
then
with
you
what's
have
said, homie.
right,
Get down with these
and
red
then you
sabers
have
and these blue
and then you have
sabers.
the
No
white
matter
ones
what.
that are like the white saber guys, you know, who's just like, man, which is good. Like, we don't have to be a part of that, any of that either. But instead of being out of the fight, hey, we're gonna win the fight. We're gonna take the fight. We're gonna take what we want. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that was a Jagged Fail and his family who had the guys with the white sabers.
yeah,
I'm forgetting what they were called. They were something knights in extended because they're bringing all that extended universe back in. So eventually they'll get there with those guys. But they are further down the timeline. For
yeah,
show, it is a really good show that focuses on a lot of aspects of the Star Wars galaxy without focusing on Jedis or Sith at all. And it's interesting because you get to caring about the people that's in it. That's why we were talking
yeah,
about the last episode that happened last week where Kino Loy couldn't swim. Now you're in prison. You've done all this work to fight to get out of prison. And the last step to actually get out of this prison is jumping into the water and swimming for it. And he can't swim, so he doesn't jump.
Uh-huh.
And then you feel so fucking bad for him at that moment because you know he wants to be out of there. Can't fucking leave. Can't leave.
Right.
He can't grasp the freedom that he was fighting for. I was like, damn, that is heartbreaking, dude. I would have fucking just jumped. Fuck it. Maybe I'll drown. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But fuck that. I got to get out of there. No. Because you know what's going to happen if he stays there and the Empire comes back and takes that shit over. He's going to be right back in that motherfucker doing exactly what he was doing and broke out. Probably worse because he was one of the ringleaders of the revolt and getting out. Like, fuck, dude. Yeah, Greg, you're right. Funding terrorism. Yeah, from a certain perspective, that's exactly what they're doing. Because we understand what it means to be a rebel. One person's rebel is another person, freedom fighter is another person's terrorist, right? Depends on what side of the coin you on. What side of I should say, what side of the weapon you on?
And again,
you pointed at them, that you're a freedom fighter, right?
Right, and this is not bloodless. This is bloodful. This is people are dying, people are falling off, people are getting screwed.
Yeah,
right.
And that's
what I noticed.
That's what I'm enjoying about the show. That's what I'm enjoying about the show. You see how it creeps into everything and how they end up being in control of everything. But you also see how fucked up some of this stuff was initially anyway. Like, yeah, you need to wipe that out. You need to stop that from going on. Somebody should have did it. Thank you. Like thanks, Palpatine, for coming in and stopping this crime organization and all this shit that was happening. Thanks, but they were doing slavery and some other shit. I appreciate you stopping that, but I do like having the ability to walk when I want to.
You know what I noticed about Andor? It it was this survival. And I was thinking
Survival.
what how would you survive? Like myself, I said, how would I survive in this world, in
Hmm.
this area?
Yeah.
Like when I saw the when I first saw Ray when she was just a scrapper, right? I was like, wow. I said, okay, okay, I like that. And just seeing her beginnings, that she's just this humble scrapper, getting all this crap and her beat down little vehicle, and she's just getting pennies. And I was like, I said, now they have a great way in Star Wars to introduce you these humble characters. Even when it was starting showing Obi-Wan, he's just the dude that cuts up all this fish and this meat. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay, that's kind of cool.
Menial
But the
shit.
thing is,
Menial working class shit.
but when I'm seeing like Andor, and when he's going through, I said, fuck. What I like about it, what reminds me of the first two movies of Jason Bourne, where he has to think and he's on the run
On his
and
feet.
he's using his wits to survive. But at the same
Yep.
time, he's trying to figure out who he is and who are these people and why are they after him. When I'm looking at Andor, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing this world. Well, this part of this world, but this certain section of the world where it's all about survival. It's like how you said, are you a freedom fighter? Are you a rebel? Are you a terrorist? Well, it depends. What is the situation? What's the price? What's going on? And like how you said, you're
Right.
seeing how the way through Andor's eyes. Andor is the vehicle for us to see how the way this world, how has to survive through this world, and how the way this part of the Star Wars world, the world building of it, which
Mhm.
leads him to Rogue One. For him, he becomes a part of the Rebel Alliance, or he becomes a spy.
Right.
And I'm just looking at the survival, and I said, that is how the way you tell a story. It's not solely on Andor. He is the vehicle. But when you're seeing how the way the world is, I'll give you another movie, Shawshank Redemption, right?
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
see Tim Robbins' character, we know all about him, but you start seeing the whole world through
Andy
everybody's eyes.
Dufresne's
You see it through his eyes. You see it through how the way the warden is being corrupt, how the way he's cooking the books. You see it through how the way through everything where Morgan Freeman, he's been in and he knows how to hustle and get stuff. You see it through how the way he Andy Dufresne learns from Morgan Freeman that in prison, and even from me, from myself being in prison, you have to know how to hustle and you have to know how to wheel and deal, because you're dealing with a certain element in there that you got to get around. And he wheeled and dealed his way to get out of prison. So you're seeing how the way this world is. And to me, that's the greatness of the story.
Have Have you guys? There was a short story, right? It's an extended universe for Star Wars. It's I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it, but it's like I can't remember. It's a long time ago, so I'm trying to recall. It's like Soldier 87, right? It's just a very short story, and essentially what it is a storytelling about a guy. He's a stormtrooper, right?
Mhm,
And he's basically kind of doing like an autobiography thing, right? So he's not one of the clones. He's one of the um, conscripts, I guess you would say, right? But
Mhm.
there's also conscripts, and there's volunteers, right?
mhm,
So he becomes a stormtrooper because he was in a village that was Empire controlled, and his father essentially was doing work like just menial work for right the Empire,
mhm,
and rebels came through and and started smoke with the stormtroopers, the Empire there, and his father ended up getting killed in that deal. So he sees the emblem of the rebels they're the reason why his father died. So he joins up with the Empire to become a stormtrooper to fight. And then it ends up, he's doing his tours and everything. And then he's doing another tour. He goes someplace where those roles are basically reversed, where they're coming in to quell something that the Jedi is doing somewhere. And there ends up being like a stray blast. I can't remember if it's a stray or an intentional blast, but in that there's wreckage and everything. So he goes to the wreckage and pulls out a young child, and he recognizes that he sees the same eyes in that child that he had when he saw his father die, and he knows he's created another rebel because of the uniform and what he represents. And you know what I mean?
That's good storytelling, because that's a loop. That's a loop. That's a good storytelling. Yeah, that's good storytelling right there. To show the creation of you create your own enemy, in a sense. That's a good storytelling. I didn't know that story. I will look for that story so I can read it, because that's good storytelling right there.
And also, what it
put it this way: there's a joke in Clerks, right, where Randall and Dante are sitting there talking, and then Randall has the joke about the Death Star getting blown up, the second Death Star getting blown up, and that he thought the rebels were a piece of shit because the second Death Star was still under construction. It wasn't even finished. So basically, how would you like it if a bunch of rebels showed up and started blowing your job away? Maybe it was some dude there just trying to feed his family or something like that. It's a government contract. It's good money. You there working, trying to build this thing, and then all of a sudden some fucking rebels come through there on their holy war and blow your ass to pieces for some shit that you ain't got nothing to do with. You just trying to work and feed your family, and they blew your ass to shit. It's like, so they had plumbers,
the Matrix did it either.
Aluminum fighters and stuff all got killed for no reason. Like they weren't Imperials, they were just laborers. They were just the construction crew. Like, that's all they do.
That's why I thought when they did that, in the Matrix, they did an amazing job of, in less than 30 seconds, waving the wand in front of your face, right? Because in the first Matrix, right, all the agents are actual people that are plugged into the Matrix. And so you're killing people. Yeah, you're not killing agents, you're killing people.
Yeah, you're killing people. The agent is anybody hooked up to the Matrix. Yeah. And the Matrix Resurrection proved that. I mentioned that shit in my review of Wakanda Forever, how all the people diving off the roof, that was just people. Just people. Yeah. The agents were just people too. That's why every time you kill one of them, it was still a body laying there. They just jumped into somebody else. So
yes,
it wasn't necessarily their fault, but it's still killing people. I was like, so
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's in the Andor show, that's pretty much how the world is working. You're getting why, like Malika was saying, he is in survival mode. That's why he killed those dudes in the first episode. Because that ain't the last person he fucking kills. It ain't. I mean, at the point before he got arrested, which is fucked up, right? He has just robbed the Empire for $80 million. And then the dude that he robbed the Empire for $80 million, where it wants him to turn on the people that put him onto the job. Well, all he wants is the money that he's promised. He ain't worried about doing this double cross fraud. He don't want all this shit. And the dude is telling him how we gonna take out such and such and all the rest of this shit. He shoots that dude. I'm like, yeah, fuck him. He shoots him in cold blood too, because the dude was on some bullshit. He didn't want all of that drama. He just wanted the money he was promised, so he can go back, try to take care of his adopted mama and get the fuck away from there. That's all he wanted to do. But it was about survival, because if he wasn't going to do that, that dude was going to kill him too. He was going to kill him too. He was trying to set him up, get him involved with him to be killing this woman and this other chick that ain't did nothing, just so he can later on try to turn on him and run away with all the money. Like, nah, fuck all that. Right. But at that same time, at this point where he is now a criminal, he gets arrested for some shit he didn't even do and gets thrown into prison for some shit he didn't even do. That's just some trumped up charge bullshit and thrown into prison. So now you feel for the same dude who you just watched rob some people. You do feel for him. So,
but you also understand he's not innocent.
He's
not guilty of this crime, but he's definitely not innocent. Right?
Yeah, he's not innocent, but he didn't do this.
Right.
This part is messed up. But yeah, he did those
That's-
other
again-
couple of things, but you didn't catch him for that.
It's funny that you mentioned that. That's why people don't tend to, because I've got a history of not doing great things. I may have been a bit of a rogue in my life and suffered consequences for that. And I was in environments where you suffer consequences for that. and so I try to tell people, explain to people, because when people ask, well, your estimation, how many innocent people do you think are in there? Innocent? There's some people that may not be guilty of the crimes that they're convicted of, but having spoken with these folks on regular occasions, innocent?
Yeah, that's like asking somebody what you in here for. Oh, if in here for burglary. Oh, well, that's kind of fucked up. Yeah, it was kind of fucked up because I just broke into that house because I killed this other person. Like, what? What? You're not in here for murder? No, I'm in here for burglary. But you killed a guy. Yeah, because I was getting away. But they didn't get me for that. They got me for the burglary. I was like, okay.
Like things like that, yes. Yeah, like things like that. Like so when you ask me how many innocent people do I think, very small percent. There's only been a couple of people that and you know they took their cases back, got them overturned and things like okay, innocent, but you know there's plenty of people who are in there for charges that. There's a good amount of people who probably are innocent who are innocent of the charge or not guilty of the charge that they may be in there, and that's not a high number either. Yeah. But innocent, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
just regular. It's very rare that somebody is just Joe Schmo employee that gets put in prison for some shit.
No, that's rare. And that's what you see with Andor. He ends up in prison for some shit he didn't do. But there's a lot of shit he did do that they didn't catch him for. But he's in prison for some shit he actually didn't do. So you feel for him in a sense like, oh, well, he shouldn't be in there for that. That was bullshit. But the other stuff they don't know about, oh, yeah, he did that. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, we saw it. We know the reasons. We got his own. But for him, it is about survival. It is about survival. Is getting free and never getting back to the place that he ends up in again, which is prison. He didn't want to be back there. He was trying to get away and get free. That was it. And so situations evolve into what they are. So that was interesting. Seeing that Beastly come back. He said he had Muay Thai class. Your elbows and shins hurt or what? Telling me you was in Muay Thai class, motherfucker. So was you unblocking it or what? Let me know. You training for the Kumite or what? Basically being funny.
Muay Thai or Thai food class?
Damn sure would. Yeah, Muay Thai food class. Muay Thai food or Muay Thai fighting? Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Yes, think he was out there having some patai. Think he was having some patai and sticky rice.
It's patai, sticky rice, and a boba tea, right?
Yeah, out there actually throwing elbows to folks. So, last thing I'll bring up with you guys before I get off here, you should probably check out this show, The Peripheral, on Amazon. You should probably check that out. It's interesting.
I've seen the previews of that.
It's interesting. I forgot who was in my chat who asked me about it, and I started watching it. But it has been kind of interesting. There's some stuff in there that's rubbing me the wrong way, especially the brother in there. They treat him like this motherfucker just got treated in this Wakanda Forever movie. So it's like, oh, fuck, here we go. But at the same time, the brother does look smooth. I would. If he ended up jumping over to Marvel, I would buy him as a Black Panther. I would buy him as a Black Panther, T'Challa Jr., a TJ. I'd buy him as a TJ. He just got to get his hair bumps under control. But other than that, it's just what it is, man. Look, we all got our struggles, right? I ain't got a good handle on that shit. I'm not an actor.
Whatever happened to that Jet Jackson kid?
He died.
He committed suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I wasn't trying to speak ill of the dead, but yeah, he expired. He expired.
Well,
Self deletion is a thing.
It was
he
very
seems like
sad
he
for
could have
me
been the
because
age to be a good one, but never mind.
yeah, I grew up watching him, so it was very. I was like one of the millennials that was like took his death for like really hard. I was like, damn man, I grew up watching him on the famous Jet Jackson on
Yeah,
Disney Channel. I was like,
Yep. My son used to
And
watch the famous Jackson. That's why I know about him, and I liked him. And then he got onto Smallville, and he was Victor Stone, Cyborg on
Yep.
Smallville, and I liked him.
Yep.
I really did like him. He was growing into a really good actor. And then
what I
somebody
thought,
had
yeah.
recently had told me that he had died. I'm like, what? He was like young as fuck. He was like not even 30 yet, was he? So yeah, he's self-deleted. What?
I think he
For
was
what?
suffering. He was suffering
God
from.
damn.
I think he was suffering from. It came out that he was diagnosed maybe with BPD or something, and he was suffering with it, but until later on he got diagnosed with it, and he was on a show that was taking off, and even the producers were saying, okay, we want to give you some time to get yourself together. And he was trying to get back, and other people were saying he was just like, all the people around him said the same thing that we're saying. He was a great actor, he was a good person, everything was great, everything was cool, his family doing, but he was just wrestling with a lot of demons, man. And he even was seeing a therapist, and he was just wrestling with a lot of personal demons, and he just couldn't take it anymore. And that was he did that maybe like about 3, 4, 5 years ago.
I was thinking like when you were saying somebody who could have been another Black Panther, I was like, he seems like
Judge, can I
somebody
tell you
could fit the
something?
bill.
He could have been anything. He could have been up there with Mahershala, man. He was that good because like he was playing. Well, he was one of the few that could shake the child actor stigma.
yeah,
Because he was known for being like, Jet Johnson, and he wanted to kind of shake that kind of like he didn't. What was Miley Cyrus's name?
Hannah
That's
Montana.
He said he didn't want to follow in the Hannah Montana thing because Miley Cyrus had to shake that, and she had to get the little bad girl image.
Yeah.
The Disney kids always have a hard time getting out of that child role thing, that they have to do some crazy shit to get that shaken off of them once they turn 18. Because once they turn like 18, Disney ain't got much use for them after that. So they got to shake that off before then, so they can actually get some adult roles. Otherwise, you'll be fucking Annette Funicello or some shit like that forever. They will always look at you as the child actor and never as I'm an adult now. That was like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I need
Totally
an actual
vulcanized.
acting
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, to your
Macaulay
to the
Culkin
joke
was
about
trying to do Andrew Furlong or whatever, who was
Yeah.
in Terminator 2. You still can't get a
Jaleel White. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, to your Muay Thai jokes. Yeah, I was in Thai class. I was at Jason's school, and I was like a few minutes late, and he just happened to be in there. I was like, "Fuck, I'm late."
Yeah, he caught your ass. He gave you that Green Ranger kick, didn't he? You didn't tell him I said, "What's up?" You didn't tell him, "What's up?" I told you the next song. Tell him I said, "What's up?" Green Ranger for life, nigga. Green Ranger for life.
Look, I done already got sidekicked by him, so I'm good.
JDF. I'm good. I took a sidekick from the Green Ranger, nigga. What? I'm still here.
A good sidekick does not feel good.
And it wasn't just one; it was demonstration. It was multiple.
Yeah, double kick.
A good sidekick without the mat does not feel good.
Yep, no mat. It was straight to the stomach. Without the bag, straight to the stomach. I was like, all right. I'm walking away like Poe from Kung Fu Panda. Like, oh, I was amazing. I got hurt, but I'm good.
I got hurt. I'm good. My stomach's still intact. I don't know if I'm
I
eating
remember
anything
being-
tonight, but
I remember being young. I remember being young.
yeah, yeah, I remember being young. And that kind of shit
I get caught with a sidekick. I get caught with a sidekick today. Man, it's a good thing I don't have a job to call into.
Yeah.
Or like I was saying, you could be like Kaiser Soze.
Everything on the
I'll
inside,
shit
on
blood
the
tonight.
outside. Yeah, exactly. I shit blood tonight. I didn't feel like eating. That's what I'm thinking about. I didn't feel like eating. Let this shit
for the next 3 days.
adjust and do what it need to. Yeah, let it adjust and do what it need to right now. Like, yeah, I need to be doing that.
Yeah,
I've evolved.
You're right. I was breathing too
Giving
deeply.
them
I need about 4 days of shallow breaths.
4 days of shallow. 1, 2, 3. 3. How many breaths does it take to get to the end of the day? The world may never know.
You had to wrap yourself. You had to hug yourself in the stomach so you could breathe deep. Like, ooh, it should hurt. I don't want to breathe too hard.
It's like Peter from Family Guy. Peter from Family Guy when he falls.
Laying on the other side in the tub of ice just to breathe, you know.
And all you need is Denzel Washington to come over. Breathe, dog. Breathe.
Breathe, dog. Come on, dog. Breathe. Breathe, dog. Yeah. What up, Dr. T? So the Peripheral is interesting. It has a lot of different things thrown into it. Some of it is sci-fi based interesting. Some of it is feminist kind of shit, well, female elevation, as I will call it, in there. But the story is telling is interesting. And basically, the point of the story is these people, so far, because it's still coming out every week. So I'm 5 episodes in, and I think the 6th episode came out this week sometime. I don't know what day yet. But basically, what's happening is this woman is putting on this headset and jacking into a body, a peripheral, which is like a robotic body in the future. Right? Her consciousness is traveling through this headset into the future, into this cybernetic body where she can work.
Avatar meets Ghost in the
Shell.
Shell.
Trying to find, yeah, in a sense, right, through time travel. And she's working with the people that are there to find the woman that got her into this mess and stole something from this huge multinational conglomerate company, right? This big business. Now, the CEO of this big business company that you don't want to fuck with, which is a research and development company, is a black woman, bald black woman. And she is nothing nice.
Wayland
She's
Enterprises.
smart. She clever. She will kill your ass. She will kill you for real. This woman is on some ill shit. She is on some ill shit. And she got a British accent too, so it's really fucked up. Right? So by using this peripheral, she's actually causing her own body back in her real time some issues. But what happens is because she is involved in this theft of some kind of project or something from this R&D company in the future, they are sending people back in the past to get her and kill her and her family. Right? So they have a way that they send information back where they can hire people in the past and wire them money and shit to come after these people. So they have a hit out on them in the past for some shit they did 70 years in the future. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Right, but think, if you think about the mechanics of that, right? Think about how cheap that hit would be if you're using 70 year in the future dollars.
Yeah, pretty cheap. Right? It ain't nothing. It's like a nothing burger, right? But 70 years in the past, their technology is contemporary to us, but their technology is advanced, right?
Right.
So the one thing I'm finding really cool is that the main character, whose name is Flynn. Now, this is the part that I don't know Malika again. This show, one of the executive producers on it is Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, right? Lisa Joy is Jonathan Nolan's wife. She's the one, or the two of them are the ones who made Reminiscence and work on Westworld, right? And I told you what the problem with Reminiscence was, is that it's a bunch of other sci-fi movies mixed into one movie, right? Well, it's the same shit here. The main character, who was Zoe Gertz, whatever her last name is, Chloe Gertz, whatever is her last name, right? Her name is Flynn, and she's jacking into a computer to play a sim, which turns out to be the future. Well, that's Tron, you motherfucker. It's Tron.
Right.
She is Flynn from Tron, right? Now her brother, I'm forgetting what her brother's name is, but that's the same thing. They're playing. He got hired because he was playing a game. But why is her brother playing a game and earning all this money playing this simulation game? Is because her brother is ex-military, and while he was in the military, he got these implants called synaptic something or other, right? And it's basically giving him like a Ghost in the Shell setup, where he can link to his unit and they can all run an op without speaking. They can see what everybody else is seeing. They get uplinks to their drones and shit like that in the sky. They take out motherfuckers like quick. Like they are an efficient team. But he got some problems. So he's discharged. He's home and playing video games, like playing Modern Warfare and shit, right? They're earning money for it.
But he still has these haptic implants.
Yeah, through these haptic implants, which is kind of cool. When you see it go down, it's like, oh shit, they about to get wiped. These hitmen about to get wiped the fuck out too. I'm like, I thought these was just some hicks. No, these are ex-Marines with this connection, right? That's 70 years in the past. 70 years in the future, they got all kind of different shit going on. Like everything is almost integrated into your head. You can have phone calls straight from your hand, scroll data and stuff like that from your hand, but then you have these peripherals walking around that can look like people, that can look straight up like people. And they have a whole relationships with them. Like, dude, this is some weird her shit. Like, what?
Yeah, this is a combination of a lot of genres.
What the fuck, dude? It's like a life model decoy. What are you doing? Put your dick in there. It's some weird shit. But the future part that you're seeing is London. And 70 years in the future, something happened to the world. There was a virus or something that wiped out a shitload of people. And they're not telling Flynn this because she's still in the past. But she's starting to ask questions about, well, where am I in the future? Where's my alternate self in the future? And they try to stay way away from telling her about that shit because this virus wiped through a lot of people on the whole planet. And basically it killed a lot of the population on the planet. So it's very few of them left. So you're still getting into all this stuff with the R&D company, RI, and what's going on and how this society is set up between research, the government, and the mob families, how they all work together to build this society, and what's going on in the past with her and her family and stuff like that, and these people being hired from the future to be in the past, coming to kill them and stuff like that for what they know and what this chick stole, what she was a part of and what this other chick in there stole. It's interesting. That's why I say it's interesting. It's kind of slick. The costumes are good. Her southern accent gets annoying, but there's some other shit in there. Like the last episode I watched, one of the characters in the past is called Prickett. And he, in a Roadhouse kind of way, Malika, like the rich dude in Roadhouse who had took over the whole town, I brought the Gap here. I brought Target here. Everybody's here because of me. It's my town. That's what this dude is on. I mean, line for line. It's like, okay, they stole this from Roadhouse, right? He's there. He takes over this town because he was selling cars to the motorcycle gang that ran drugs through there. And then one day he gets it in himself. He sells them some new cars. And they get in to test the cars out, and they locked inside this motherfucker on a hot day and can't get out.
Wow.
And he has his nephew stand there and watch them suffocate and die in these fucking cars.
I saw that on a YouTube short.
He said, this will take about 30 minutes or so. I'll be right back. I got to get a hammer. And what does he do? He kills all those bikers and then nails them to crosses and lines them up on the side of the fucking road coming into town. I'm like, what the fuck?
I didn't see that part, but the part with them in the car.
He takes over their drug trade to take over the town because he was tired of them fucking up his town. So now it's his town. I'm like, this nigga nuts. This old dude is nuts.
You're causing too many problems. This can be done in an easier way. Yeah, let's get rid of you. People still need their fix, but we'll do this a better way.
We'll do it a better way. But here's the thing: he shows something in his relationship that he has some young chick as his wife. He got some hot young chick, and she's telling him what to do on some other kind of deal. And it's a good scene that can play really messed up with people. You can say that, the chick is sitting here and she's the one in charge telling him what to do. It's not that she's telling him what to do. He's using a woman for what a woman is good for if she's on your team. Tell me what you see, how you see this playing out, because women are more intuitive. Tell me what you see. And she does that. She tells him exactly what she sees and what these guys' other moves might be and gives him that game so he goes about and handles these motherfuckers based on her working with him and giving her insight on what she sees, and he takes what he sees and knows, marries that shit together, and now he has a solid airtight plan. Because it takes both halves. Sometimes you need some emotional so it balances out your logic. Because we like Star Trek, right? What was fucking Spock's problem?
Too logic.
He's a Vulcan. They're all logic. But Spock was half human. But he was half human. So his conflict was balancing the two, the emotion and the logic. What you got with what is their twins, the Romulans? All logic, no emotion. Yeah, fuck you. You got problems, right? Well, if the equation come up that your asses needs to be dead, well, we're coming to do a genocide because the numbers came back and it's better without you. That's just what it's going to be. It's not personal. So you have to marry the two, and that's what you saw in that scene with him and his wife. He's using her for what a woman is good for. It's giving you that other emotional intuition, right? That you into that spirit part, while he's using the logic, because you've already seen this motherfucker ain't got a problem killing nobody, and he don't have a problem thinking it out and planning it out and getting away with it. He just needs that other little tidbit, like maybe there's an area or perspective that I didn't see, and that's what she gives him. It's like, he goes forth. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's an interesting watch to get into that world and what's going on with these people in this world or whatever. There's a couple of brothers in it, and a couple of them are fucked up. But the funny part from the last episode is that there's a brother in it. He's ex-military too, and kind of a drunk, but he is a fucking quadriplegic. He lost his legs and his arm.
I saw that.
He just got one arm. Yeah, he is a rough case though. He is a rough case because he don't care about fucking dying at all after this shit. But he's just in a rough way, and because this rig is taking a toll on Flynn, he jumps in the rig to go into the future to tell these motherfuckers they need to send something back to fix this shit because it's messing her up, right? But he puts it on because in the future he's controlling the peripheral. He can walk again. He can walk and move around.
Right.
And even though he turns up in the future in this chick's body that looks like Floyd. He don't give a fuck. He's jumping out windows and shit like that because he's so excited about being able to move and have his legs and shit like that again. It's like, look, yeah, you got to get out of here, but he comes back and he tell them they need to make me one too. We all need a body. You're like, I can't wait I know, I'm going back. I'm going back. Yeah, they need to tell them they need to make me a body. We done. he is not playing. He's like, no, I got.
He is ready to be a company man.
He is ready to be on board, man. He is all aboard because he want the use of his legs again. So
yeah,
like I said, it's interesting the stuff that's going on in it, and it's hard to pin down exactly what the end point of the story is, because there's enough stuff mixed in there to where you might see signs of other shows in it. Like I said, her name and who she is like a ripoff of Tron, right? But having experience with Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan working on something together in Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman, I know that they'll pull on shit from other sci-fi movies that was good and roll it all into one show. And so
it seems like they're pulling from like Babylon 5. That one movie with Denzel Washington where he's jumping back and forth from
he's using that time effect.
Deja vu or something like that.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deja vu. Yeah. Deja vu is the one. That's the one.
If you saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I haven't seen that yet with Michelle Yeoh. I haven't seen that one yet.
It gets a little goofy, falls apart in the third act, but I think it's a good watch.
Yeah, I was interested in watching it. I just haven't.
Jet Li's the one. Yeah, it seems like
that's a little different because that deals with multiple timelines and going through different timelines and killing yourself.
That deals with the multiverse.
That you will consolidate all of those different versions of yourself into one body. This one is it's only one timeline, and you're only going backwards or forwards, and it's only your consciousness that is being like Wi-Fi'd forward into a body you can control. Right? Your body is still back in the past, but your mind is making that transition to go forward into the future and control this avatar body. Because it's a strain, your body starts taking a toll because the technology experimental. The only way they got this shit is they sent the plans back into the past to some company to have them build the shit. So it's experimental. So it's fucking her up, basically. It's fucking her up.
And then
shit.
What was the Jessica Alba one? What was it? Dark Phoenix or something? Not Dark Phoenix. It was Dark something.
Dark.
And then
Phoenix.
Might have been. Yeah, I can't remember.
Dark Phoenix was the Jessica Alba show. The other one was
And then Ben Affleck's wife. She had the one. This is basically a remake of La Femme Nikita. Alias, and then La Femme Nikita, I mean, it seems
that
like
was J.J. Abrams. It was kind of a La Femme Nikita ripoff, kind of, because she was just a female spy. But that Alias was really interesting. It actually got really good because Jack Bristol wasn't nothing to fuck with. Jack Bristol wasn't nothing to fuck with, boy. I was watching Alias and 24 when they was both on, and I was like, well, you don't fuck with them Jacks. Them Jacks will fuck you up. But you got Jack Bauer blowing chicks' knees out, and Jack Bristow doing some dirty shit to make sure his daughter is okay. Like, look, you Sloan, you better calm the fuck down, dude. I put a hole in your ass. You and my ex-wife.
And again, that's like, and I think if they write this again, because again, one of the things that we get, we in the geek sphere, we in the nerd sphere, we get this fucking bullshit rap tied to us that we don't like strong female leads. No, we don't like Mary Sue's. We don't like bullshit.
You don't like Mary Sue's or bad writing. It's very simple. I don't like
Like
Mary Sue's, and I don't like bad writing.
We've participated in hundreds, if not thousands, of projects with strong female heroines, protagonists, antagonists. That's not the issue. We never have had a problem with that.
No,
You know.
no. I mean, I can start listing and naming the strong female characters that I enjoy, be it animated or live action, and not have a problem. Like we were just talking about Alias. Alias is starring Jennifer Garner. That's how I know Jennifer Garner, because I love Alias. Alias was good. That was her get on show. Know her history, watch some documentaries on her, know her backstory. So do appreciate a Jennifer Garner in that show. I don't have a problem with strong female characters that are well written. I have a problem with Mary Sue's and female characters, how they're written nowadays, who just shit on the male character. Every male around them has to be weak as fuck for her to be, stunning, brilliant, and brave. Like, fuck you, dude. That's garbage. It would be just as garbage if it was a dude and everybody else around him was weak as fuck. Why are you here, dude? No, what the fuck? Don't even make no sense.
Yeah, I can start.
Everybody can do something. It has to.
Yeah, I can start going off the top of the head a bunch of female characters that I enjoyed watching. I love the shit out of the original Charm show. I will watch the reruns of that show all day, based on the fact that those women are well written characters, and you see their arcs and you see the shit that they go through, and they're not given everything; they have to work for everything.
Dude, I could take you back to Charlie's Angels, the original, Red Sonja, like Red Sonja, Charlie's Angels, not Starsky and Hutch, but the chicks. What the fucking
Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey. Yeah, Cagney and Lacey. I like female characters because it's something different than just the guy characters.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, there's only two genders on the planet, male or female. You can do some of the same shit, but you can't do everything the same. Okay, so I don't have a
Daisy
problem
Duke
with,
and the
like,
Dukes of
watching
Hazzard.
the cop show. I don't have a problem. Yeah, I don't have a problem with a female cop and a male cop. I know something's going to be different happening when they approach somebody. The female cop might be able to get over one way. The male cop is going to have to get over a completely different way, and vice versa. I don't have a problem with that, right? What I have a problem with is this pushing of the lowest common denominator of female and trying to elevate this physically, visibly weak character and thrusting them into position that they are overly dominant, combative, masculine acting to other men. That is not
China
interesting
O'Brien.
to me whatsoever. China O'Brien, that's another one. Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff is not interesting to me. I like women being women. I don't have a problem with a woman that can kick a man's ass if she looks like she can kick a man's ass. I don't have a problem with that shit. It's kind of high. But I'm not going to believe a 90-pound chick is kicking the hell out of 300-pound dudes. Forget it. Just stop it. You're not going to do anything but get some woman in the future fucking destroyed.
Not without some type of personal force multiplier.
She's gonna have a head full of that shit dealing with a dude that's 300 pounds, and she's gonna be thinking about Black Widow or some Ray Skywalker bullshit in her head, and she's gonna hit that dude, and he's gonna be thinking, we're all the same now, and lay her ass the fuck out. And everybody's gonna be shocked, like,
you see that, and you see that.
Her who?
Ball jacket.
Her who? We don't use them pronouns.
Yeah, it's a social construct.
We don't use them pronouns. What's a her? Yeah, what's a her? That's not a her. We all the same, right? Well, she got the same thing the other motherfuckers. Now, we all the same. No, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. And that is what I get concerned about this shit for. Because you can get some women hurt later on. Believe in me. Because it would be no different if you do this with your mind. It's a thought exercise for everybody, right? Replace all these that you've got in the last 5-10 years, right? Let's say 5 years. Replace all the female Mary Susans you got and put a little dude with the same size as that woman in there. See little dudes rise up and get the shit kicked out of them because they can do that. So, dude, I'm gonna go beat up this 300-year-old man. I mean, I'm fast. I was trained in a red room. You're gonna be in a red room,
Right.
hooked up to a knee. Try shit if you want to, but you're gonna believe it. Because
again,
these kids, and I've watched it with my kids, raise these motherfucking kids to believe this shit that they see on TV is real. It's not fucking real. It's make believe. No, it's real. It's not fucking real. Reality TV ain't even real.
No,
it's not. It's fake. So stop believing everything on these screens is real. It's not real shit.
Even in martial arts, I remember a buddy of mine who's a fellow black belt, and he kind of helped me prep for some fights back in the past. And one of the things he talks about, and when he looks at other instructors, it pisses him off when they teach female self-defense and they try to basically instill in their head that they can do the same thing. And he said, no, she can't. And he had to basically one up on an instructor with one of the female students who was small because he's a tall ass white boy. He's like 6'5", and he said, okay, try to have her do that same technique on me. He said, I'm a 6'5" tall dude and weigh 200 pounds. Let her try that technique on me. She couldn't do it. He said, now let me show you what you're supposed to be doing. He said, everything's not going to work, and you need to be realistic when you teaching these females because they're not going to be able to do this shit in real life on some big 6'5", 200+ pound dude. Especially if you're not modifying the technique for them to get done. And even with the modification, they got to worry about that dude's strong as hell. So he's like, they need to be realistic. He said some of these instructors need to be
resist.
Well, to speak to what Artisan was saying earlier, right, with the reality TV. And I think somebody put it in there too. And this is no offense to you, Mr. Greg Wilson, right? You said plenty of videos on it. Okay, let me hip you guys to something here real quick. Cinematographers, right? Directors and cinematographers, right? They go through a lot of training, education on how to get things properly and perfectly framed to get what they want to be seen on the screen, right? To frame an event to where they can get. One of the easiest ways you can tell if something is fake is its framing, because again, you have to understand, why is it being filmed? Why is it coincidentally being filmed at this time, this event, and why is it perfectly framed when you've seen all kinds of other video?
No action is missed. Yeah,
right.
No action is missed.
Right, because they were doing that like 6-7 years ago with all those things coming out of all those Chinese art school videos. Right, chick goes in, small chick goes in, like Blade the Vampire Killer, right? Type chick goes into some sort of eatery, gets accosted by 3 or 4 dudes, and then she just breaks out some shit that fucks them all up, right? But for some reason, the security camera is looking in a way that no security camera would ever look, because it's not doing anything to secure what security cameras are there for.
Right, they ain't securing a damn thing. It's just looking.
It's on CCC security footage,
well,
but that's not what you.
That's the thing. If you want to understand if you want to understand the concept, think about it like this. Professional porn is shot really good, right? The camera don't move all over the place. What's the difference between professional porn and gonzo porn, which is some motherfucker holding the camera phone doing it? Shit is all over the fucking place. Anytime you see, this is called consciously looking at stuff, right? You look at it, you watch it, you ask yourself questions. That means you're conscious about the information you're taking in, because you're questioning all the information that's coming into you. You're just not blindly sitting there having it spoon-fed into your eyeballs, right? You have to ask yourself these questions. Like I tell you guys with the commercials and stuff like that, you have to ask yourself questions about this. Who's this audience for? What are they selling, and what audience is it for?
Yeah.
Is this for me? I do the same thing when I'm watching movies. That's how I can tell you this movie wasn't for me. It wasn't for my generation. It wasn't for my age group. It wasn't for my gender. They're pitching this shit to somebody else because I'm consciously asking myself these questions while I'm watching this stuff and not just, oh, okay. No, I ask questions. So what Judge is talking about is just that. Filmmakers frame shots. And if they're really good at it, the camera don't move. So you can get all the action. Any event that's supposed to be just some random fucking event and it's framed completely well is rare because real people move the fuck around.
Even if you don't have watch porn, right? There are these things on YouTube called walking tour videos, right? And when people first start up their stuff, they just start walking with a GoPro or their phone or whatever, right? And it's right. When you walk, you jiggle, you bounce, you move up and down, right? But if it's not doing that, then they have it on what's called a gimbal, right? So it takes that out of that. So it balances it, which is it has a gyroscope and it takes that bounce and jiggle and move and everything else off of that, right? And then they also have software that'll clean it up some more from there, right? But so if everything in this thing is perfectly framed,
You might want to ask some questions about what you're seeing. Validate that authenticity of it. Like, is this really really real? Or, I mean, it possibly really happened, but was it staged or was it, Memorex?
Yeah.
In a sense. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, you guys. I just did 3 hours out the blue, impromptu. This is why I tell people to subscribe to the channel, because sometimes I go live just because I fucking feel like it. But and if you want to be a part of it, you probably want to be subscribed so you get that alert when I do. Because I didn't sit down here and plan on doing 3 hours. I just sat down and just fuck it. I felt like talking to y'all. So
I sat down and saw what was live on YouTube, and it was you.
Awesome. It's Tuesday. I was supposed to get off of here a while ago and go over there and mess with my boy Art Noostel. I could have drew something today, but it's 3 hours in. It's cold. I need to close my window and get my teapot on.
Thanks for having me up.
Because I'm getting. Oh, no problem, Josh. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate you. What you got, Beastly? You about to go do some more Muay Thai? Catch some feet
I'm done
from the Green Ranger? Oh, you done today? Took enough kicks today? Got your kicks for today?
Well, luckily he was leaving. He taught the kids class, and so he was leaving. He said he come back and teach the adults, which is probably tomorrow.
That's probably an awesome class too. If he teaching the kids class, them motherfuckers like, oh, there's a Power Ranger. That shit probably awesome as hell too. If I was a little 6-year-old or something like that in this class, and I had watched the Power Rangers, I'd be pumped to go to class every day. Hey, we going to class today? I'd be driving my mama crazy. I can't miss class. The Green Ranger gonna be mad. Green Ranger? What the fuck are you talking about? The teacher is a Green Ranger. Whatever. Get your ass in the car. I'd be pissed if I was missing class, because I swear to God, I'd be in that class thinking I was about to make the Rangers, motherfucker. I was gonna be the next one. Zordon calling me tomorrow. I'm gonna be in class doing my move. Get ready to call it up. The Green Ranger gonna call me. I need to be ready.
I need to have my communicator ready in case they need some backup. What color you gonna be? It don't matter.
Don't matter. I need to be ready. Gotta be ready. Gotta be ready. You never know when the Green Ranger gonna need some help. You might call. Come in there with that flute. That dagger flute is on. I know it's popping. Yep.
Here come the Dragon's Ord.
Dragon's Ord. Like that nigga was a Piper. That shit was awesome. I like that shit too much. And I told you I was grown when I was watching that shit. I was loving it. Like, damn, this is awesome. I was a whole teen. I was a whole teenager. That shit was awesome. Kicking their ass. You fucked up now. Fucked up now. Dragon Zord coming, nigga. You know how
He
this
had the
goes.
flute and the sword. It was over.
Yeah. We about to knock y'all asses right out the Megazord and get down to kicking all 5 of y'all asses by itself. Y'all got lucky when he became the White Ranger and got on your side. You got lucky. Okay, he could have did that shit by himself. What the fuck y'all was doing there? But besides hanging out, see the Pink Ranger got down. Amy Jo got on board.
Yeah, she was the first one trying to get on the team. Like, maybe we can join us.
Doing them split kicks. Yeah. Oh, Tommy. Oh, I'm all about that Tommy.
How many times did she scream his name in the show? I'm like, God damn. Like with that California Valley girl, what's Tommy?
Practicing. Tommy. He was practicing. You gotta remember, he kicked all of their asses when he first showed up, so he beat her ass too. Like, oh.
She saw hearts and stars.
Hearts and stars and quasars, boy. Like, oh my God, I think I like Tommy. If I remember correctly, she was the main one campaigning for his ass to get saved by Zordon. I'm like, no, you gotta bring him back. I wanna fuck him. I want Jason. Fuck the Red Ranger. Like, I have periods. I ain't worried about no red. Nah. Fuck that white though, yeah. Here we go. That's some Geek After Dark, where you start turning everything geeky to fucking sexual. It can turn into some raunchy shit. Start having fun with these damn characters. Because I already told y'all my Fantastic Four dirty joke, so we're gonna leave that be. Did you ever hear that one, Beasley?
I don't think I did. I probably did, but I don't remember. What is it?
Okay, it's 2 jokes. Why are Reed Richards and Ben Grimm best friends?
I don't know. Well,
because the thing can always use Reed as a condom. Now, the other part of it goes, why did Reed Richards never... No, excuse me. Why did Sue never leave Reed Richards? Oh, no, excuse me. I mixed it up. Why did Reed never leave Sue?
I don't know.
Because he liked to see it inside of her.
Oh,
He liked to see himself inside of her. And then the flip is, why did Sue never leave Reed Richards? Because he hit all her spots. He filled her up. Told you this is terrible shit, dude. You don't look. Don't nobody like women more than geeks, motherfucker. Don't nobody like women more than geeks. The fuck is you thinking? Come on, man. Geeks draw stuff like Magdalena, Aspen from Fathoms, and shit like that. Geeks love women. They just don't like bad storytelling. You can get off of that shit. It's a misnomer. They hate women. Bullshit. We love some fucking women. We just don't like bullshit. Just don't like bad women. Unless they're drawn really good. Because the Baroness was evil as shit. But every dude that liked G.I. Joe would want to fuck the Baroness. I'm just saying. That Dominatrix shit going on. But all right, Beasley, I'm going to drop you down and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here.
All right.
Appreciate you coming up, sir. And donate to the chat. Save your kicks for tomorrow. All right, y'all. So thanks for coming through on this impromptu Geek Speak. Yeah, that's basically what it is. I will try to put out this Wakanda Forever review. I made the thumbnail. It's already recorded. It's 83 minutes. I mean, it's 83 fucking minutes, which means I got to give y'all a graphic or something that you're going to sit there and watch for that time. But it's my thoughts on the Wakanda Forever movie, since I've talked about it about 3-4 times now. I'm sorry talking about this shit. I want to get past it. I want to move on to the next thing. And it's not even looking forward to Avatar Way of Water. It's not. It's just moving on to something else. I'm really disappointed with the MCU right now. So I just want to get the review out and over with. I'll probably drop it at the same time as my Black Adam review that's still there. 30 minutes reviews. I'll just take out the flourishes and put it out for you guys because it's too long. It's too long for me to edit and get out on time because I'm the only one who does the editing. I don't have a crew. I don't have a team. It's just me and my phone and the time that I have available. So I'll get it out so it's out there for you guys. Like, share, and support the stream. Thank you to the people that did support the stream. I wasn't asking for the last 2 hours, so got off easy. Appreciate the conversation with the brothers who came up, like a BMT, Locked Pop Talk, Judzilla, Beastly Nerd. I think I did say my like me bang. Appreciate you guys for coming up and joining the conversation. I always like talking with some of the geeks, seeing what's on their mind. Check out Wakanda Forever if you haven't, so you know what everybody is actually pissed off about, and bring your ideas, your thoughts on it. And if you want to have a better movie experience, I would suggest watching Civil War and Black Panther first, and then going to see the movie. And if you watch Black Panther on Disney Plus right now, they put the Chadwick Boseman tribute opener in front of the Black Panther #1 movie on Disney Plus. They put it in there. So it'll be fun to give you a feeling for Black Panther, refresh your memory on stuff before you walk into Wakanda Forever and see what it's not. You'll have a better perspective that way, because some things get missed in memory, but it's different if you've recently seen it. It refreshes it for you. I would recommend checking out The Peripheral on Amazon Prime. It's interesting. It's a pretty interesting show. I can't say it's a good show, but it is an interesting show. Interesting enough for you to watch and get into. Got Andor episode 11 tomorrow, so it's the next to the last episode. I'm all there for that. I'll probably be up for another couple hours until that comes on, so I can watch that, get it done, and move on. I will not do a watch party for that because I don't know if the watch parties are working on Patreon or not. But other than that, thank you guys for coming through. I'm getting out of here and going to the restroom. I've been Artisan MC, and this has been a Geek Speak.